Welcome back, everyone, to the Harashan Coast, the land of sundered crowns. On the previous session, the group had returned to Aldwell after laying to rest Wenrick's, the husband of Kindle, spending a little bit more time in the town and another night in the Fox and the Hound. They, the following morning, set out to acquire supplies for your journey out into the wild, or at least your planned journey out into the wilds, to discover the evidence that this was the Lost Fife. After some, the party split up and took some brief kind of sojourns on their own, including a somewhat psychedelic one for Uther and Naira, which ended with the party being contracted by the alchemist Shamash to head north a little ways to one of the remote farmsteads surrounding Aldwell, and retrieve a number of, or a shipment of mushrooms from a man by the name of Ragnar. Arriving at the farmstead, they found the farm itself being ransacked by goblins and a bugbear. After killing most and subduing one of the goblins, which Lorium still has tied securely to his pack, they found a hidden cave and descended into it to be confronted by a magical circle protected by a shambling mound. Having defeated the shambling mound, they activated the circle and now stand as a group over the body of their fallen foe, with the magical aura provided by the magical circle, giving them visibility of many of these small mushrooms growing in this cave and even on the body of the mound itself. So, with that, we begin.
Yay.
Off to a great start.
Are these the mushrooms we need? All scattered about in here. I can't remember what it called them. I'm more of a taking the mushrooms than a knowing what they're called kind of guy.
Naira is going to glance over at Nyx, but I'm also going to roll a knowledge nature.
I believe they were called Regasha mushrooms, is what the guy who sent us here said.
Correct.
Do you recognize them?
With a 17, actually, it's hard to say. You have, you've heard of the name Regasha mushrooms, but you're not really familiar with the qualities or appearance of them, or, what kind of potential magic could be at work here.
What about you, Nyx?
Well, given that they're the only mushrooms we found so far, I would think they are. But out of character, I'm pretty sure that last nature roll was me trying to figure out what they were, so he has no idea.
Oh. Well, I think that's probably a good guess. That these are the only mushrooms we found, so.
I mean, I think you two would be the best judges of that. And he just looking at Naira and Uther.
Well, let's gather them up then and get them back upstairs. And if we're wrong, then perhaps he'll like to buy them.
Yeah. Maybe, do we have anything we can put them in?
Well, I mean, I have a backpack.
Well, yeah, actually, let me run up and see if he's got anything inside the house.
Calcifer will pull out a pouch from his backpack and says, "Will this do?"
How big is the pouch?
It's just a cloth leather pouch that can hold 1/5 cubic foot, or 6 pounds of gear.
think for mushrooms that'd be about appropriate.
I mean, you could, yeah, I mean, depends on how many you actually kind of gathered up and everything, but you could certainly fit a good amount in there.
How many are guesstimate in the cave with us?
Go ahead and roll me a perception or survival.
While he's doing that, I am interested in the cave system. Does this look natural? Ooh.
Oof. And by the way, I believe the mess kit that you guys all would have had comes with like a sack. So I mean, I'm more than happy to say you've all just like, as in your backpacks, you've all just got like ye olde cloth sack. But
Can that be like printed on there? Ye olde cloth sack.
Absolutely, ye olde mess kit. Yeah, you estimate that with that 27, there's probably somewhere between like 18 to 20 pounds total. There's quite a few mushrooms in here, and some of them are quite large. If you were to spend, say, 20 to 30 minutes clearing out the cave, you estimate you'd probably have, somewhere in the region of like 15 to 20 pounds. Potentially even more.
Nix will relay that information, directing most of it towards his sister.
Oh, okay. What do we think? Do we want to just gather up like one satchel full, or do we want to gather up as many as we can carry?
Take half,
She's-
leave half, is what I'd do.
Say that again? I'm sorry.
Oh, take half, leave half. Just so the rest of it can grow back.
Are we
With the
getting paid
Arcana
for
roll,
quantity?
with the Arcana roll that you made earlier, Naira, you would guesstimate, or you would you believe that the mushrooms are basically produced by the magical circle rather than a strictly natural phenomena. So you may not, it may not necessarily be important.
And I would also say I'm planning to sort of terminate this magic circle. So no, and she gestures at the shambling mound. None of those grow back.
Yeah, that might actually be best. Do we want to copy down any of these squiggly lines?
Oh, that's a fantastic idea. And she's already reaching in and grabbing her journal. And just getting to work. She's got her little quill out and she's like doing her best to replicate it. Sleight of hand?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, roll me sleight of hand.
Or Arcana?
Sleight of hand with advantage because of your proficiency in Arcana.
Okie dokie.
Thank goodness.
Thank God.
With a 23, you are able to get a very, very precise, you understand exactly what you're looking at, so it's like trying to copy down an English sentence that you kind of, that you can write yourself without any issue. So copying it down is as simple as making sure that you are just like, okay, so that is that rune, and you're able to draw it in no problem, create a very precise record of the circle and its function.
Do I also have any idea of the material components, if any, that were necessary to create it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, with that again, with the Arcana roll you made earlier to understand the circle itself, circles like this and this certainly appears to be the case. They're usually made on some kind of suitable surface, like marble or silvered stone or something like this. This looks like it's simply polished marble, and then they're generally going to be inscribed with the runes are inscribed into it using a variety of specialized chisels made out of specific kind of metals, and then filled with various types of incense and powdered metal and other and herbs and things like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that if that information was important, I would have jotted it down, that's all.
Okay, sorry, yeah. I do go into the weeds on lore.
How Out of just curiosity for personal, no important reason, how big is this chamber?
The chamber itself is pretty much as you see it here. It's about 35 to 40 feet across at its widest, by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, by about 60 feet long for this particular large chamber. And in answer to the earlier question, this does appear to be a naturally occurring cave system.
Okay.
The tunnel down to it did appear to have been worked to a certain degree, but even that looked like it had collapsed into this at some point and then been widened and straightened and stuff like that artificially.
Just wanted to make sure it wasn't like an old kobold or goblin tunnel.
I mean, it's possible at some point. Right now, it's quite overgrown in many places, so it's tough to say. Like possibly decades previously or years previously, it may have been used for some kind of, it may have been used by something like that, but no signs of recent use of that nature.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
So who's gathering the mushrooms? While Naira is, because that, copying the circle is going to take Naira about 10-15 minutes. Nix, I assume you're going to be part of gathering the mushrooms, or leading the gathering of the mushrooms, since you have such a good idea of where they all are. Is anybody going to be assisting him or doing anything else?
Yeah, I'll help him
I'll
with that.
help. Yeah.
Okay.
Two least extras.
Mm-hmm.
Takes you about 10-15 minutes then, during which time the charge on Wander's spiritual weapon, which has been hovering menacingly over the shambling mound, kind of dissipates as that spell finishes. And then, you all finish the gathering of the mushrooms at around about the same time that Naira, you have completed the record of this magical circle in your book.
While we were gathering mushrooms, probably anybody, but definitely Lorium and Wander, because they were so close to Nyx, they noticed that he's a little on edge and he's a little uncomfortable. Just ever since we got down here into this cave.
Now, remember, when I turn this off, I don't think we're going to be able to find the mushrooms anymore. We only got to see them when the light came on. So, this may be our last chance to ever pick up any.
I mean, that's your shopkeeper's problem.
Yes, I just figured that he might buy them, but that's fine.
Lorm just shrugs.
Nyx will take 3 that we haven't already put in sacks and put them into his bag.
Only 3? I believe there are 6 of us.
It's begun.
Okay, I'll take 12.
12 out of 15 is
Yeah.
And I don't hide this action. Like, I'm doing it where everybody can see me. I'm just pocketing a couple.
Yeah, you're getting a side eye from Lorium. He doesn't really seem to care though.
He'll, are you obvious about the side eye?
Oh yeah, I mean he only has one eye, so it's very obvious that's looking at you.
That's true. Midway through putting one in, he'll just he'll look at you and like hold up one of the mushrooms. You want to try it?
No.
And he'll oh, go ahead.
Oh no, he was just the way they were acting with that. Honestly, I might fucking kill one of you.
You stop wasting our time in this awfully dank cave. It smells like the goblins upstairs.
Yes, and the kitten here seems afraid of it.
Kitten, don't tell me you're afraid of the dog. Calcifer will give you a smile as he says that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine, and he'll start walking towards the entrance. Let's let Dreamer do what she's got to do.
As you try to leave the cave, Calcifer will follow and says, I didn't mean to offend. I just meant that maybe I can help you through the process of overcoming your fear.
That's a mighty fine offer. Maybe we can discuss it up out of the cave.
Of course. Anything for a
Yeah,
friend.
If
Oh, sorry, go on.
I will just say, if anyone's going to have trouble seeing in the dark, they might want to go up now, so I can turn this off.
All right.
Okay, Naira, roll me an Arcana check. It's gonna be like fairly quick for you to disrupt the circle. But just to make sure that it goes smoothly.
Okay.
I can't see my character.
I can move you up.
If you could take him out for me,
Now-
that'd be great.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think that you said with my the Arcana check that I did when I was analyzing it, you said that I would know how to turn it off.
Yes, yeah, you do. Like, you know, kind of the process. This is just kind of to execute that process safely and properly.
Okay.
That's actually enough.
Well, it's gonna explode. Okay.
No, because like anything under a 12 would have actually gotten you in some potential hot water, but because you were familiar with the process, it was a very low DC. And wow, you have a +8. Good grief.
Expertise, man.
Right.
Expertise.
So yeah, you are able to extinguish the magic very quickly and easily, and yeah, like you scratch through some of the more important runes, and the magical glow fades from the cave. As everybody is gathering back up at the rope to begin their climb, can everybody please give me a strength check with advantage?
As we go
Or
up,
athletics.
Calcifer will say to Nyx, I'm so glad we got to take this little journey. And we did end up learning a bit about the other, didn't we? I don't suppose you could offer me a hand. I'm not terribly good at climbing.
Oh, yeah, Callie, I got you, and he will help. He'll, I guess, like kneel down and make his leg a step for Calcifer to start climbing up.
As you do this, he'll put his foot on your knee and, start climbing up. And you see him smile at you, and you hear, thank you, but his lips don't move. And you'll go up.
Okay, roll me a strength check with advantage. Just everybody that's climbing. So, well, I guess the whole party.
Yeah.
Still
So
not good.
Or athletics.
strength
Yeah,
or athletics? Okay.
Sorry.
We don't have to. The Tabaxi don't have to. We have climbing speed.
Oh, that's fair. So yeah, you two are able to just swarm up, no problem. So Lorium and Wander.
Spider walk up it.
Wander, you're good. And Lorium, I don't think it's possible for you to fail this with your strength score.
It's very rare. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you are all able to swarm up this rope fairly easily. The Tabaxi jumping even along the sides of the tunnel upward. You all emerge one by one back into the daylight and find that you are no longer alone on the surface. As you climb out and take stock of the farmstead around you once more, Aurel, who do they see stepping out from behind the tree to the south?
From behind the tree, they see a tall tiefling with pale white hair, deep night royal purple skin, and freckles on his body that seem to look like stars, or like somebody got a bristle or a toothbrush, dipped it in white paint, and just sprinkled him with it. And deep onyx black horns that stretch from the upper part of his forehead near the temples all the way back towards the horn, almost like gazelle horns, but not as curvy. And he'll step and he'll begin to forward and he'll begin to unravel a rolled up piece of paper, and he'll say, Calcifer. And then Calcifer will say, Anarian, dear, you're like a dog with a bone. You should really learn to let some things go. And the tiefling will say, Anarias, Elun Asherar, and he reads arcane words of this scroll.
Do I recognize the...
Go ahead and roll me a Arcana check. Anybody who's proficient in Arcana.
Since I'm not, as soon as he started talking weird, fancy, strange words, Nyx would put himself between the two of them.
Okay. Go ahead and move.
Yeah.
That's fine. You are able to move in that way. Naira and Uther, you recognize the words being read from this scroll as a very powerful, very focused type of dispel magic. It's not precisely in in a form that you are familiar with. It looks highly specialized and powerful in a way that you're not exactly familiar with. But as these words ring out in the early afternoon sun, the sound of them echoes out with that magical resonance that you are all familiar with, you being spellcasters, many of you being spellcasters yourselves, and then it seems to hone in toward Calcifer, that the tiefling's eyes are locked on. And as these words kind of seem to hit home, Calcifer's arm kind of jerks up in a strange, unnatural movement, and you've seen him wearing a ring the entire time that you have made his acquaintance. You've seen him wearing this ring, and this ring seems to glow faintly as his arm twists and shakes in the air, and then suddenly shatters, bands of metal cracking away from his finger. And as this metallic note rings out in the air, Uther, it echoes in your mind, turning from the sound of metal breaking to metal clinking against each other in a very familiar coin melody.
I'd reach out, snatch up my coin out of the front pocket, and check it upon the figure in front of me.
All of you make perception checks.
Arian, dear, you do realize you're surrounded, right? I don't want anything bad to happen to you. After all, we
Uther,
are
I meant to say,
very good
sorry,
friends.
you're doing it with advantage. And sorry, I spoke over you.
No, he just tells Arian, dear, after all, we're very good friends.
Uther, so you can't see anything, but you're holding up the coin, and you get that familiar sense of wrongness. It's unfocused at the moment and difficult to pin down. Like there's this kind of magical field still roiling in the air. So it's hard to precisely pick out, but there is there is definitely the magic of your of your particular brand is resonating in the air right now in a way that it hasn't previously. Everyone else, those of you who got over a 15, so that is Nyx and Wander only actually. You see as Calcifer, as this ring breaks off, his arm shoots back down and he seems to resume a normal posture, but shifting up from this ring along his arm and across his whole body, there is a strange ripple on his flesh, like it's like it when you shake a blanket to resettle it onto a bed, traveling across his entire skin and body up over his face for just a moment, and Midnight or Nyx, sorry, Gap. You see in particular in its wake like more shapes moving, like eels twisting in a bag. Something very strange underneath the skin.
Almost Nyx's ear, because he was facing away from Calcifer at first. Nyx's ears almost like quickly turn towards him, and Nyx will suddenly about face and kind of get into a crouching defensive position and move himself between Calcifer and his sister, and in a low kind of growl he'll just say, "What are you?"
Kitten, I thought we were friends. I'm me.
Calcifer?
Nah.
What's going on? Who's your friend?
An old flame from the past, I assure you. A tad bitter, soon. And then, Anarian will step forward and say, "You won't be able to slime your way out of this one, you slug. Not with your pretty words." Oh, Anarian, you hurt my feelings. And he is going to cast... Where the fuck? Where the fuck is it? Hold up, I have it. Somewhere in here. Moonbeam on Calcifer. And you see, Anarian goes, "Elun Ashara, Elun Adore," and a beam, a pillar of cascading pale light comes down from the very heavens, and just like a string, it begins to widen into this enormous pillar of moonlight, silver and pure and pale, striking down at Calcifer.
As this beam widens and strikes the form of your traveling companion, as the light passes over the skin seems to be burned away, and boiling out from this form in its wake, these strange, shifting, dark, slimy, scaled skin comes bursting out, bubbling up and twisting and changing, and as it expands and grows into this strange, twisted form that towers over you. And I am going to need everyone to roll for initiative, please.
What?
Oh, that's my armor class. I forgot how to do.
I am so confused. What's that?
As this happens and Calcifer sees your shocked expressions, he will say, "Judge me not for my appearance. I'm still your friend. Right, kitten?"
And I need everybody who heard him, so that would be the whole group standing within, or anybody standing, you're all within 10 feet. Go ahead and make me wisdom saves, please.
What? We have been betrayed.
Well,
I have to make a wisdom saving.
No, Anarian is actually out of range of this
Oh,
particular
no!
aura.
Oh no.
Oh my.
Oh
So-
God!
DC was 15. Everybody who failed, you will have disadvantage on your first, basically, action against Calcifer. As the alien nature of this being that has appeared before you as it unfolds, starts to just kind of overwhelms your senses for a moment. But top of the round, Anaria, roll damage for your moonbeam.
Okie dokie. So, moonbeam. It's a saving throw DC 15. Constitution.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh wait, he has disadvantage because he is a shape changer, correct?
Yes.
So we'll take the lower of these two. Oh, and with that disadvantage, he fails. So that is 13 damage.
Yup, and I'm going to use my starry form archer feature.
Okay.
And I'm going to attack. $16.
16 hits.
Oh, damn it, the 6. And what you guys see is that the tiefling standing before you, his eyes, they dilate, and his eyes go entirely black. But as they do, his skin begins to become translucent, almost as if made of glass. And within him, you see the shifting constellation of this odd frame. And the stars align in such a way that they're going into his arm and into his body, and then he lifts out his hand and a bow made of stars appears, and he shoots a beam of radiant energy at the creature.
Okay, yeah, so this creature just kind of shudders as these, as the light burns it and this beam of energy smashes into it. There's this weird gargling, bubbling sound comes out of it instead of a scream. And you actually see, as this beam impacts it, small, what look to be actual independent slugs that seem to be smashed off of this form, spiraling out through the air as it reels from the assault. Apparently caught off guard, it is at the very bottom of the initiative order. So Naira, you're up next. Midnight, you're on deck.
Naira is gonna sort of draw her hand crossbow, but she's kind of in shock. Can I just hold an action? I can't remember if that's just a 3.5.
Nope, yeah, you can hold an action.
Do I
what
have
is
to
the
have a trigger?
Yes.
Basically, if he attacks, if what used to be Calcifer attacks anybody here, I will go ahead and attack with steady aim. But other than that, I'm just going Calcifer.
Okay, you're dialing in your aim on him. Next, so
If
this.
you say-
Sorry, go on.
If you say Calcifer to you, he will say, "Naira, I'm still me. You wouldn't hurt your friend, would you?" But this thing doesn't have a mouth. You can hear it in your head.
Oh. Yeah, and Naira is
You can
looking
change your
around
mind
at
if
her
you like.
friends to see what they plan to do. No, I think that she would definitely be in shock. So please continue.
Okay, Nyx.
Nyx's pupils do that thing that cat's pupils do right before they lunge at something, and just angrily he says, "I am not your kitten. I am no one's little pet!" And he jumps out with his sword. And one of these days I will have an action actually ready.
You made this
Fuck
saving
yeah!
throw, so Oh, god damn! Go ahead and roll.
Nix,
your
that
critical,
is for
sir.
you, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Do you get sneak attack though?
I don't think you actually would get sneak attack on this
Oh!
one. Yeah. But you still do 11.
No, you're right.
Sorry to be that guy.
Well, I was
Get
actually just
another
about to say, so don't worry.
D6.
Don't feel too bad. So what did you see with a 17?
Naira saw it. Naira heard it.
I know what I saw.
Okay.
I know what. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. Nyx has just launched up and just plunged his sword into the chest of this thing, and as your blade bites in, it kind of writhes in response, and you kind of yank it down and out, and this weird, like, dark, sea-smelling blood and ichor pours out, and you also see, like, almost parts of the body kind of wriggle and writhe away from where your blade has bitten in. Uther, you are up next. Lorium, you're on deck.
Uther frowns as he looks towards Calcifer. I knew you were hiding something, but something like this now. Yeah, that was very good. As... Give it to me. Drop a shatter.
As you say, I knew you were hiding something, he will say, and so are you. So are we all. And you would judge me just for my appearance.
Oh.
Damn!
It does make the saving throw, but it does still take
Take
11
11.
damage. Okay. Oop, whoops. No, there we go. So
Hold
yeah,
on
so
one sec. I want to see something. Hold on. Sorry, I need to
you're good.
look up something real quick.
So yeah, Uther,
I'm still getting familiar with something.
you cast your spell as you say this, and halfway through its response, again, like your spell just blasts and concusses in the air behind it, kind of throwing it forward, and just again like blasting parts of flesh and ichor and blood and liquid out as your spell kind of passes through its body. It is still up, but it is incredibly hurt. You can just see gashes and everything across all of it. Lorium, you're up.
Alright. Lorium's just gonna say, what the fuck is going on? And he's just gonna walk right here. I don't know if that provokes an attack of opportunity or an attack of opportunity would be taken.
You did, yeah, you would. Well, did you go through this square?
Yes.
Then yes, you would have provoked an attack of opportunity there, or an opportunity attack.
That will change
Which
things.
means my held action will go off.
It will. So you go ahead and roll yours. Wow.
And I'm.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, I moved it by clicking on it. Sorry.
I'm not. Since I'm using steady aim, I'm not going to have disadvantage. I'll just have normal.
Correct.
Ah, damn.
Nope.
I'm a little shaken.
Yeah. So,
Wait, that's so weird.
Lorium, as you kind of move past, this one of the arms kind of suddenly twitches and lashes out, changing from an arm into, you see now, some kind of a long, like, pseudopodid tentacle that cracks across your shoulder, and you feel the blow kind of shattering into you through your armor.
As he was originally starting to take out his spear and take up his stance to hit either the newcomer or Calcifer when something basically antagonistic happened. That was pretty antagonistic. So he's just going to slowly turn back around to Calcifer and just walk over to you and draw his sword. Take a swing. With a very conflicted expression, that's going to be a disadvantage, so I'm going to roll again.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, so still kind
Won't say
of
anything.
rocked by the blow. Oh, don't you have the rebuke reaction though? From when he hit you?
No, I already used that.
Oh, is it once for long rest? Ah, fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, we just came from a big fight.
I can't use it as a spell slot. I looked that up.
Fair
It's
enough.
okay, you guys. Our closer is up next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You say that.
Wander, you are up. You have just seen this creature rock Lorian with a massive blow.
Okay. Anyone who would be paying attention to him, which shouldn't be anybody right now, will notice that his head will tilt to the side slightly and that his eyes will fade for just a second before they come back in a bright red color, and he'll march almost like one of the Queen's Guard, like a soldier, very rigidly behind it. And he will reach his hand out, and the same sheet on his hand will slide off, and you'll see the little prongs, the little spikes that kind of look like a very, very tiny spike trap shoot out into Calcifer, and he will say, "Betrayer!" And he will cast Inflict Wounds at 2nd level.
Oof.
Oh, shit, now I can't betray the party because.
So,
It would be an advantage.
it would be at advantage, so I'll roll
Oh,
it
well,
again.
first of all, did you pass your wisdom save?
I did.
Okay, then yes, it would be at advantage. That absolutely
Oof.
hits.
So,
Second level
at
may have been a
second
little bit of a little bit of an overkill there.
Oh, it is.
It's in character.
Oh, yeah. How do I roll this at 2nd level? Can I just change the formula?
No.
No.
I
When
think when
you,
you roll damage, you can say plus this number of d8.
When you on the spell, when it
Oh, yeah, I can.
gives you the yeah.
Alright, cool. 18 necrotic damage.
Yeah. So your hand. I mean, in fact, how do you want to do this, sir? As your hand just reaches out and jams into the back of this creature, and your power flows into it, what happens?
There will be this brief flicker in one of his eyes that changes back to blue, and in his mind, no one else will hear this, no one else will notice, but he'll just think, I was going to make you a gift. And then the prongs will shoot out and stab into him before briefly electrifying in this bright black bolt of energy that just shoots out across his entire body and proceeds to whatever head region may have remained before exploding it.
Yeah. You guys in front see this creature suddenly arch in pain, and where its skin seemed to be made up of these kind of shifting weird forms, suddenly between each of these forms this light shines out, and there is this moment of tension. It's like as its form tries to hold together and then just bursts out, explodes across Nyx and Lorium, and the whole form seems to just burst and dissipate into these weird little gobbets of flesh that spatter over the ground around it. And
This is so
nothing
sad.
is left of your erstwhile travel companion.
Anarium's going to run to the place of its disappearance and look to see for what remains.
Wander's gonna fall to his knees.
Did it activate one of my coins?
Oh, yes, it did. Thank you for reminding me. As the sound of this concussive blast that is of its body bursting apart, rings out and starts to fade away. You again hear the echoes developing in your mind into the ching, 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 of a coin that's like been dropped on a table and just been kind of spinning on its rim a little bit before settling onto the
As I'll
surface.
as it settles, I'll feel like the impact in my front pocket as I reach down, pulling out a fresh minted coin as I look down at it.
The rest of you, or Nyx, Lorium, Aneri, in fact, yeah, all the rest of you, give me a perception check, please.
I'm gonna do it at disadvantage.
I was actually going to ask if I could do it at disadvantage too.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Nope. It would have been a 17.
Myra, you are the only one who notices anything, and I think you know what you noticed, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okie doke. Naira has taken several steps back, by the way.
Larm's just looking at the mounds of flesh, I guess?
I mean, you're kind of
Fleshy mounds.
scraping some of them off your armor.
Yep.
It's gonna look through it, make sure it's dead, all of it.
Yeah, I mean, as you move towards it, like it is scattered over about a 15-20 foot kind of area. Most of it is these burnt, kind of crisped, like just shriveled shards of flesh. Some of it seems to still be kind of writhing and twitching, but as you move among it and look at it, they sort of shudder and twitch their last before laying still. And best
Anything
you
that's
can tell.
twitching, he will bludgeon with his quarterstaff.
Okay, yeah, you are able to kind of go through, just stamping out the last vestiges of whatever unnatural animation there was to this otherworldly form. And you all are left as masters of the field.
We'll take out the lantern and light it up. And to those of you that look, it's a glass sphere with the engraved on it. You can see the carving of like a budding flower on the glass sphere, but it's mounted on a base on the bottom and on the top that is essentially what looks to be like quartz, if that makes sense. And I'm not explaining this well. You guys know that when you crack a stone, sometimes it can have like mineral deposits inside that those quartz and stuff. It's this blue stone within it, and on top of it, bound to it, are in leather, is like a leather handle, and a light begins to glow. What color does the light glow? Is it responding to anything?
Yeah, so as you hold it out, it begins to glow with this faint blue, like at first it kind of that flashes out initially with a bright, fierce burning lilac, just for a moment, like as a first kind of channel energy into it to activate it. There's this burst of vibrant lilac light before that immediately just goes.
And it turns blue, you said?
And yeah, and as it starts to come out, well, when it is simply glowing, it turns the light kind of neutral, whitish blue of simply illumination. It is not responding to anything that it would normally respond to.
He'll turn it off and put it back in his pack.
Nyx will move to his sister.
Who you see is standing with her like hand just pressed over her mouth, definitely in a state of shock. Ears down.
Seeing this, Anarin will step forth and say, "I would watch her if I were you." She hesitated.
Excuse me?
You hesitated to kill it, even when you knew.
But and then She just sort of, her eyes go down to the floor.
Nick steps to her and just takes her into a hug and just says, Minvalima. Minvalima.
Lorian will just slowly turn around to Anarian? Is that the name?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, you guys don't
Just
know
say-
yet. He hasn't introduced himself.
Calcifer
okay.
called him an Aryan.
Oh, that's true. Never mind. You're right. He did.
Yeah. You know, just say, what the fuck just happened?
An Aryan will look at you and contemplate for a second, and he says, "Isn't it clear? I saved you."
It's not clear at all. And he'll look up at Wander. He said he dropped to his knees.
Mhm.
I don't think I need to insight check that. I haven't seen you drop to your knees before. He's like, no, it's all right. As he steps through goo, I guess. Walks up and takes his holy symbol on his chest and a familiar little purplish flame as he heals with lay on hands. Pretend.
I haven't been hurt.
Yeah, no, he heals himself. But he's like,
Oh, okay, good.
everything's okay.
He'll slowly look up at you, and as he stares at you, he'll reach into his backpack, and he'll pull out a small candle that's about, say half a foot long, and he'll turn it to you so that it's facing a certain way, and on it you'll see a rectangle with various designs on it. They almost look psychedelic. They essentially emulate a lot of the like strange and esoteric kind of almost sea style creatures, I guess, from the casting that Calcifer had shown Wander.
Oh.
And it culminates in this center image that is a bright white, like blinding white, just because it's on a white candle, flower with drops of it's not colored again, but it's little circles spread across the petals. And he'll look at you and he'll say, I was going to make a robe for him.
He's like, he wants to say something, but he's kind of catching. I'll just pat your hand. It's like, it's alright.
He'll just turn the candle and look at the design on it for a while. That's it.
As you do, wander only, because you weren't. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ooh. Hey,
Oh.
Okay.
Even when I'm sad, I feel.
In the aftermath, as you kind of come, like your internal processes kind of wind down a little bit from the sudden shock of this combat, you become aware of a strangeness and change in the place where you keep your holy symbol.
Oh no.
After he notices this change, he'll stand up and light the candle and set it down on the ground. And then he'll say, can we go now?
Yeah. As he looks at the other four.
Okay. And he'll start walking into the house.
Can we go to Hitler's house?
Something like a kid at a ball.
Naira is hugging Nick's back for a little while, but she has tears in her eyes, and she is trying very hard to keep her composure. But then she will eventually sort of say, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I can do this. It's okay. You can let me go."
Yeah, as soon as she asks him to, he will let her go, and he'll actually move over to the well to retrieve his rope.
Okay.
The loot goblin that is Cole wants to check for stuff, but no.
Do you mean by that? Sorry, but by that do you mean the check the body and see if there's any loot?
Yep. No, Lorian's not gonna do it.
I mean, Lorian can actually see there is no body left. There's no clothes or anything. Everything that was Calcifer seems to have been detonated and changed into these small gobbets of burnt flesh that are scattered around this small area.
Weird.
And Naira is looking at Uther with a very big question mark on her face.
You see as he seems surprisingly unfazed by it, studying Anarian. But as he glances over towards you, he gives you a reassuring smile and a wink. Later.
Roll an insight check.
Let's see. Go himbo powers. Let's see. Yeah.
Himbo powers.
Himbo powers activate. Form of shield.
She does not look a little bit reassured. At all. And you, with that roll, you definitely notice that there are tears in the corner of her eye. In the corners of her eyes.
At that, as I see the rest of them grabbing things, I'd take a step towards Naira, and I would just say, it's kind of a lot, but I really do want you to know. It's just something that requires a bit of context. If it comes across a bit without thought, it could paint me in a light that he frowns a little bit.
No, it's okay. And then she will step forward and turn her attention to the newcomer, and say, "I'm sorry. I don't know that I quite caught your name. Was it Anarian?"
He will turn his head to you and look down, not because he's looking down at you, but because he's tall. And he'll say, "Indeed, that is my name."
Well, it seems that you were able to root out something wrong here.
As you say this, he looks back at the pile of decomposing slime, I guess. He's listening, but he's distracted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wondering what brought you here. Did you seem to know? And she's gonna start saying Calcifer and then stop. Can you explain?
He looks at you as if for the first time, and it's kind of like he's coming back from something. And he says, "Yeah, 3 years ago, I found him by the beach. Just there, half dead. I brought him to my circle and offer him aid. The friendship blossomed," he says, almost with disgust. Long story short, he used his honeyed words to ingratiate himself within the circle. Slowly he began to I suppose manipulate the members one by one, promising them the ability to change what we witnessed in the stars, to actually enact good upon the world with our own autonomy, to manifest our ideal dreams into reality.
Oh.
And one by one, they began to turn. By the end, schism had formed. Those who saw through his lies, and those who got swept up in the dream. I have been hunting him down ever since.
I'm gonna insight check.
Go for it.
I have been hunting him down ever since. And then I found him. And you. I thought this would be harder, really. I suppose I should thank you for your aid. No, I should thank you. He looks at you again and makes eye contact, and then he says, "Thank you," and bows.
When you say you should thank for her aid, her whiskers sort of twitch, but her face looks a little sad.
I'm going to insight check that. Do I see that you're sad?
She's not hiding it, so yeah.
He will say, save your tears. The thing is not human, as you could say.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You've misunderstood. I didn't. Thank you very much.
So I can know
Yeah.
what the fuck you're sad about. Do I
Nope.
know what you're sad about?
You don't know Naira. So when she said no, you've misunderstood. You genuinely believe that. That you've got it. That she is not sad over Calcifer.
You'll approach and say, "You hesitated when he transformed.
I know.
Did he speak to you in your head about the dream, the city, possibilities?"
No. And she sort of darts a glance over to other people.
He will follow the glances.
If you look at Lorem, he's half paying attention, but he's just got a book out and he's scratching off something. And his face looks very perturbed.
When you glance over to Nyx, he's paying attention, but he's actually holding a sheet of paper that a lot of people probably saw Calcifer hand him, and he's holding it over the candle Wander put out and letting it burn the drawing he had been given.
Anarian will look back at you, Anira, and he will say, you're staying out of town. I need to go there. Make sure he didn't infect anyone with his dream.
What do y'all think?
No, probably best to check at the inn.
I shall wait for you, he says, and he goes to the tree. This is a tree, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Lauren will just look up at Naira, kind of pocketing the book, and just... Unexpected betrayal happens. Sorry, I don't have to go for it.
Sorry.
Huh?
I was gonna say that instead it's directed at Nyx. Anarian's looking around, curious as to like how people are reacting about Calcifer.
He's just mad at the situation, at himself.
It's probably about that moment that Wander comes out of the house holding the sheets from the bed. And he'll walk down to everyone. And go over to where the majority of the body was. And put the sheets over it.
Okay.
Did you learn that from somewhere?
Yes. He doesn't look at you, he just puts the sheet over it and looks down at it.
Suppose that's a proper reaction. He'll just look at Nyx and just kind of stern, yet at the same time kind of trying to lighten the mood in a very Lorian fashion, just say first time.
You're gonna have to buy me a drink before I tell you about my first time.
Ew.
And he'll give Lorium a wink, and he'll before the flame catches the entire drawing, he'll toss it down into the well, and he'll walk over to Wander and just place his hand on Wander's metallic stone shoulder and just say, "I'm sorry."
He doesn't say anything. He looks like a statue again.
Nyx will stay there beside him unless somebody else asks him to do something.
Just for shits and giggles, Lorium's gonna pop Divine Sense.
Okay.
Does it pick up anything off of the goo?
Not. There is a sense of like strangeness, but nothing in like nothing of any of the flavors that you are familiar with.
I'll just mumble. All right, so I'm not going crazy.
Nyx will actually start like chuckling to himself a little bit, and he'll pull out another piece of paper that Calcifer had given him and open it and show it to Larium, and he'll say, before all this, he said that he had a way to get information from that goblin you got there.
Yep, bitch is still passed out.
I guess we now know how he did it, but he got this word. And I don't remember how to pronounce it, but I think it's like...
I know what you're talking about.
Say that again?
Athgorod.
That.
Athgorod.
Nyx probably says it like Athgorad.
Yeah, he kept mentioning that.
Does that mean anything to you?
Does that mean anything to an Aryan?
No.
Didn't think so.
Mean anything to either of you. Oh, actually, Larium, go ahead and give me a history check.
Cool. Great of those. Yep. High intelligence? Yeah.
Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Nope. He'll just shrug.
Well, maybe it'll mean something to old Clovey back at town. And then he'll, like, look at Wander, who hasn't moved, and, like, look back at Larium with, like, a I don't know what to do look.
Yeah. Kind of just...
Actually... Yeah, at this point, Naira has been paying attention to what's going on over there. And she will walk over to Wander. And she will say, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I am so sorry. And then she will walk over here.
A few moments after that, without turning his head or moving very much at all, there's just the sound of, metal clinking against stone, and you'll hear Wander will say to Nyx, "Will you all hurt me?"
Nope.
Nyx will sigh, and he'll say, "Not on purpose. I think everybody hurts everyone, and it's not always purposeful, but..." And he'll step into, to where Wander... Oh, you said he looked at him. Never mind. You're already looking at me. He will, like, face you and, just say, "But... if I do hurt you, I will do my best to make it up to you, my friend."
I'll say, "Thank you." And he'll slowly start moving again. And he'll look at everyone and see if they have formulated a plan. Seeing as how the general vibe seems to be that we're moving out, or at least going to question Mr. Tiefling Man. He'll start slowly walking that way.
Mr.
Occasionally glancing back at the blanket.
That's Dr. Tiefling Man to you.
Senior Professor Tiefling Man.
Makes you feel any better? People have called me a beast, but I ain't no beastly.
Right.
Yep. Let's continue on with you.
Over his shoulder, Nyx will say, I'd hate to hear what people call me.
I would like to look around this rustic area to see if I discover any herbs of use in crafting potions or medicine.
It will take you a little while to look around. And you would you can't just look around the little area that you are. You would have to kind of hunt over a larger kind of over a larger area of land to find anything that was kind of worth harvesting. But you can do that while as you're traveling, or once this little interaction is done, or you can kind of just walk away from the conversation that's about to happen if you prefer.
Okay. Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, so you're just walking away from the group?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm waiting for them because I need them to guide me back to the town they're staying at.
Cool.
You want to make some psychedelics?
That is the next step, huh?
Anarian will also look at Uther and say, "You didn't seem to hold back any punches."
I had a feeling. A decent one. I was hoping it wasn't what I thought, but after you revealed him, my doubt was removed.
And what feeling was this?
Tilts his head a bit to the side. Well, friend, it can be like an aching in your bones, or perhaps a strange feeling. Just a hunch.
He will look at you and say, there may be more like him in this town. I would appreciate your help.
I'll let you know if I get a hunch.
He gives you the men nod, just nods up. Okay, bro, you got my respect.
Real respect's real.
This bump.
Dope.
As I would kind of look back towards everyone. Alright. Time to get back on the road.
Narain will attach the lantern on his staff.
Okay.
Lauren will just clap and say, "Yep, depression time's over. Sunshine!" He's calling for his horse.
Yeah, so your horses all trot over. Valco trotting proudly in the rear, having completed his duty to guard them. And you are all able to mount up. Anarian, do you have a mount?
I do not, but I can turn it into a beautiful, beautiful, glorious elk.
There is a spare horse, though. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
I don't think Anarian would ride the same horse that Calcifer rode.
That's fair.
No, I mean,
Good.
if you're
Can't
sure
blame
you
me for
want to
that
burn
one.
your last wild shape, then just
If
saying.
you get a
Days
bad-
are
That
short
sounds like a
rest.
warning.
Yeah, that
That sounds like a warning.
It is only 2 in the afternoon. I'm just saying.
We have to make a trip back to town. You can get
What
a
do you mean
there is
no
white
town left?
dragon.
What do you mean there is no town left? It's been burnt to the ground by goblins.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Nyx will grab the reins for Calcifer's horse and walk it over to Anarian. And seeing his hesitation, will just say, as someone who was probed by him, I don't think this horse was worth his time.
He looks at you when you say probe, and he says, "I'm sorry." And he'll take the reins from your hand, and he'll give you a lopped-faced grin. And then he'll say, "It makes you feel better. I've been probed too." And then he'll climb on the horse.
Anarian, as you kind of take this horse and sort of like just stroke it a little bit and familiarize yourself with it before mounting it, go ahead and roll me a go ahead and roll me a nature check.
Moonbeam.
Yay, nature. Definitely have that.
This is when the horses attack.
It's just gonna be a running gag.
Yeah, like the horse just seems to accept you without any problems. Like as you take it, it just settles at your touch. It seems relatively well trained, and you are able to mount it without any issue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like one day you're actually going to put in a horse encounter.
I was like, come on, guys! I foreshadowed this in
Nope.
session 3.
You should have known. Never trust a horse.
At the end of the campaign, the big bad is revealed to be our fucking horses.
It's just horse. You
That somehow
never
live.
agree.
Somehow live the entire fucking time.
Builds itself like a megazord of horses.
I'm honestly just waiting for Sunshine to die.
Voltron horse.
Write that down. Write that down.
Oh, we have to go before I start crying from laughter.
Okay, so
when he gets up on the horse, Nyx will turn, mainly looking at Uther and Larium, and say, "Do we ride straight for Aldwell, or did we want to take care of them goblins?"
Did we get confirmation on where exactly they were?
you know where the small group of 3
Oh yeah,
that you found was, but those are the only ones that you have a firm location on.
Okay.
You would assume that there's more than that.
I'd rather get this little shit back to the town to be maybe questioned. I don't know if anybody speaks Goblin.
We can hope. Let's ride. Hacha!
Yeah.
Yow!
That was funny.
Yo.
Okay, so as you're heading back, Naira, make me a cartography check to see how quickly you're able to travel, and Nyx. Sorry, go on.
That's a once a day thing, and I failed it last time.
Fair enough. Then I thought it was.
I
per
said
trip.
that's a once a day thing, and I failed it.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was a per trip thing. But okay, so in that case, Nyx, just go ahead and give me a.
I will help with any survival check if that's where you're about to make.
Actually, we're going to be perception, because you know the
Damn it.
way, so it's not going to be like you can still give him advantage on it if you are also sort of assisting him in scouting and keeping an eye out.
I can keep an eye out, yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception with advantage. And does anybody want to do anything on your trip?
Naira will want to talk to Nyx.
Okay.
And I mean, she's probably not feeling too talkative, but if Anarian wants to talk,
I shall look out for herbs, but if somebody talks to him, he will. He just went through something traumatic, so he's like...
Go ahead and give me a nature check then.
I got the wrong thingamajig. God damn it. Question. I am proficient in herbalism. Do I get advantage or, a bonus to this?
No, that is specifically for like utilizing anything that you find. This is kind of actually looking for it in nature. Would be survival or nature.
I shall use survival from now on.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's your plus on survival?
+5.
Okay, so yeah, that'd only be a 10. So no, you're not able to find anything that would be like too. You see some kind of edible plants and things like that on the way that make decent eating, but nothing that would be of kind of alchemical or anything like that.
Literal trail mix.
I'm sorry, he said
precisely.
edible, and I was like, you see edibles along the road? Cool.
Yo, those are expensive. Scoop those up.
This is- But yeah, as you are all riding, Nyx, you do see Naira kind of hovering nearby as you are riding kind of side by side for a while.
Nyx will, knowing that his sister will like keep up, he'll pick up the pace just a little bit so that he puts a little distance between them and the rest of the group. And he'll just still looking forward, he'll just say, "You okay, Dreamer?"
Minva-san. And going... do you want me to roll a stealth check? Because I am trying to keep my voice down and not be heard.
No, you guys rode a little ways away from the group, so, and you know, you're all on horses, so it's not like any of them could sneak up on you. If you guys are trying not to be heard, you can absolutely arrange that, unless somebody else would be deliberately, like, intruding on their privacy.
The himbo's deliberately not helping,
I'm kidding, by the way.
as he's just playing. Lightly, not trying to play it out into the woods, but just to the party.
Okay, yeah, you're strumming a little tune as you ride. So yeah, go ahead, guys. And this conversation would be, yeah, you're pretty confident now that you're not unheard.
I'm not even going to make you roll an insight, though. When he starts to play, you will notice one of Naira's ears sort of turn backward.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just
No,
gonna
go
say,
ahead.
Nyx will smile a little bit and just say, "He's pretty good at that, ain't he?"
Yeah, he is. He's very good at performance.
Seems like he wasn't the only one. Seems like we all got duped. You taking
I brought him here, Nyx. I brought him here. I asked him to come.
No, Dreamer. That's not on you. That is not on you. I mean...
Did you hear what Anarian said he did?
Yes, I heard what Anarian said. Anarian said that whatever Calcifer was, he tricked an entire circle, an entire group of people, and turned them against each other.
Yeah. And he had to be invited in first. He was trying to do that with us, wasn't he?
Yeah. But that's not on you, Dreamer. That is not on you.
But Nyx, I've invited all these people here together. What do I know about any of them? I mean, I just realized You are the only person that I can have any confidence whatsoever is not lying to me.
I need to make a saving throw of some kind, but I don't know what stat it is.
DM me precisely what you're trying to do.
He's taking the emotional damage.
I almost feel like it's a con save, maybe.
Take
emotional damage.
She's told me that I'm the only person who she knows isn't lying to her. And plug your ears, everyone. I'm lying to her constantly. I want it.
That feels like it would be a charisma save, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say for that kind of thing, that would be a charisma saving throw. Okay, so
Oh my god.
I am not paying attention.
Oh no!
I was going to say though, because so you rolled. I said a DC of 15. Because of that, roll your deception now. Posted that in sight, but roll with disadvantage. So if you also get a natural, well, actually, what's your charisma?
For my deception,
Yeah. What's your
+5.
Okay, so you literally can't fail. So okay, never mind. You don't even have to roll.
Okay. Nyx's face does a thing, but she misses it. And he recovers, and he says, "It's not going to be easy. Trusting people again after something like that. But what's the alternative? We run off on our own? You want to do that, say the word, we'll go."
No, maybe I need to hear you say you trust him too.
Naira, I trust you implicitly.
No, them.
Oh. I'm kidding. No, I trust of the people that we've met and brought with us. Larium and Wander, as far as I can tell, can't hide shit. So I'm pretty sure I take them at their word.
You don't know my deception. Fuck you.
It's all according to plan.
I
Well,
said what I said.
When you mention Wander, Naira tenses up a bit.
Nyx does the cat equivalent to raising an eyebrow. So his tail does a weird shape.
It's a heart.
For love.
It's a dodecahedron.
He'll say, he'll note that. Do you disagree?
No, not necessarily. I've realized I should probably be asking questions that I have put aside.
That's fair.
Out of character, have I told you about the holy symbol yet?
I want to say no.
You haven't told anybody.
No,
Okay.
you kept that to yourself.
Yeah. I think I need to look some stuff up.
That's fair. As for our other companions, you know me, Uther, he speaks too nice. And people who speak nice like that tend to be distracting for something. But
Somebody's distracted.
but he
I am rolling a. Oh yeah, no, you're definitely gonna notice. That's below your passive. As you say that specifically about Uther, you see her like face fall, and she looks particularly disquieted.
I think he interprets that in a specific way, and Nyx will just say, "Look, from what I can tell from him, while yes, he uses big words and sometimes, I don't know, makes me feel like I have no tact compared to him. He seems like a good enough guy, especially if he seems like a good enough guy for my sister."
Her little whiskers twitch.
Look, I may be dumb, but I'm not blind.
Oh, you are not dumb. But otherwise, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she directs her horse away.
I love you too! Got him. That's all.
Okay, so does anyone else want to do anything as you travel?
Canary will state out Uther. How long have you been traveling with them?
Well, now. It feels like quite a while, but it hasn't been all that long. Week or
mentioned-
two?
Did he mention anything about people, friends, anything?
He was rather mysterious and
You know.
secretive.
Had it not
Wasn't-
been for your friend Conlett, I wouldn't have found you in time.
You think he was willing to act that quickly against us?
Quickly is a poor choice of words. Usually he starts with the weakest link, someone with significant insecurities, reassuring him that, and as he says him, he'll look at Nyx, reassuring him that the power offered in this dream of his, you can change your circumstance and bring that change to reflect upon the world. It's insidious, really. A seed that is planted in a garden. You think it's a flower, a fruiting tree, but in reality, all you planted is a toxic weed.
He nods at that. He's obviously from his form change. There's more of them. There has to be.
Anarian looks at you and says, he says he was a reflection of many. A dream within a dream within a dream. A reflection of reality. It made it seem like there were more of him in particular. An infestation of ants devouring a tree from within. He also took my circle. They believed his words. Now do his bidding. Lost in that city of dreams. Wherever it may be.
Uther kind of nods. Well, that makes it more difficult to find than to deal with.
You see Anarian smiles, and he grabs the lantern hooked to his quarterstaff, and he says, "Not as hard as you think. She seeks vengeance for the circle. She helps me. Her light, it illuminates. It reveals. It thirsts for justice."
Whose?
And he says, help me if I'm pronouncing this a little wrong. And he says, Amaz Rivara, the Star of Memory. And he holds up the lantern. And he says, an artifact of the circle. One of the few possessions that remains. Said that in distant history she fell from the sky, and our circle found her, preserving her in crystal, her light forever shining and blessing us.
Uther nods. Well, you have already helped me today. And if there's more like him, they can't, they shouldn't.
He is anathema to creation, his god, and it, whatever it is, and the people that follow, the people that get corrupted. I haven't been able to wake any.
Then they're lost.
He says, I recognize something in you. Determination. I'm glad to have it. To have your help.
Well, partner, let's see how we get along. Everyone
smiles.
here's pretty friendly. Just watch yourself. They're a bit slicker than they let on.
He smiles and says, I can tell. Seems it had a difficult time ensnaring you in its web. But I only mean to warn you. If there are people in the town that have succumbed to its influence, you will need to be determined to end them.
Lets out a breath. If I get real confirmation, a hunch of mine, then maybe. I don't want to. But if it must be done.
He looks at Naira and nods towards her and says, I only say this because of her. The hesitation. It is... I hesitated when he began to speak of the dreaming city, of endless possibilities, of change. I hesitated. I saw in him what I lacked, what I was too insecure to reach for. He promised the answers that I seek, that my entire circle sought in the stars.
You see as Uther seems to harden as you say all of this. If Naira's on the table, then
Sorry, I'm sorry.
don't worry. I'm not gonna hesitate.
I thought I was the child of the group.
So many double entendres there. Focus.
Composure.
He looks and says, I know what it's like to put family down. She doesn't seem to be corrupted. I'm just trying to offer you a tale so you may learn from my mistakes. That is all.
He just nods. Don't worry. I won't. As glance back forward and in scene.
Okay. Nix, since you are leading the group and kind of determining the direction of travel as the kind of the leader and scout, are you attempting to avoid the area where you previously saw the goblins? Like the trio that you and Naira investigated?
Good point.
I have two thoughts. Part of me is like, no, let's avoid them, and then part of me is like, well, we're on the road, they're watching. I don't think it's a bad thing if they see us. Any thoughts, peoples?
Do you pose this to the group in character?
Nix will turn to the group and say, do we want to avoid our three new little friends, or do you think it's fine if they see us?
I'd be down for killing some goblins, but if any of them get away, then they'll probably go check on their buddies.
Yeah, I don't know if we should attack them, but if you want, I could lead us to Aldwell in a way where we'll avoid being seen, so maybe they won't realize we're there.
Do what you think is best, Scout.
Okay. I think that's the first nickname I've been called that I enjoyed. Sure thing. Hunter, no. And then he'll try to find a way, it'll probably take a little longer, but I'll lead us to where they won't see us, and that we can move into Aldwell with them unaware.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth check just to kind of, be aware of angles and stuff like that as you're guiding the group. Okay, yeah. You are very confident, like, they were on a slight rise that overlooked an area of land, but this is a fairly hilly piece of terrain. It's quite overgrown, and you're pretty confident that you have, it does add probably about half an hour or so to your journey, but you're very confident that you have found a route that is out of sight of the location that you saw them. Go on.
Oh, no. I retract that,
Okay. And so, the group of you, as the afternoon rolls on, after a couple of hours of travel, a little bit more given that you took that slight detour, you start to see the chimney smoke of the small settlement of Aldwell in the distance. and arrive coming in from the north past the small copse of trees that surrounds the hillock that the town is built at the base of. You see the now familiar small collection of houses surrounding this large market square with the tall form of the Fox and the Hound Tavern Brothel off to on the northern edge. Where do you go first? What do you do?
Nyx will look towards his sister and ask, shall we deliver the goods first, or see if we can find Cloven?
I don't know what's best. Maybe we should ask everybody else.
Probably should drop off the mushrooms. Let him know his friend and the goblins.
Yeah, that seems fair. And like he'll linger a little, like his look will linger at his sister for like half a second longer, and then he'll start leading the horses that way towards the Shamash.
So yeah, Uther and Naira, you are able to direct them toward the small break in the trees that leads to the small house where you first encountered the golden-scaled, I should say, dragonborn. As you approach this house, it's just kind of a small, fairly basic house, heavily overgrown with these vined plants that clamber up every wall and even across the roof a little bit, weaving into the thatch and tile. Passing through the well-tended plots around it. Nyx, go ahead and give me a knowledge nature check. And anybody who wasn't here before that is familiar with or that is proficient in nature can roll as well.
Oh.
If you use your almanac.
Oh, I didn't think of that. I'll. Damn it! Later, next time.
I mean, you know, like there. If you look around and go, huh, and then like you can dig it out if you want to take a minute.
Yes,
okay.
Please. Roll again, or roll this time with advantage.
Just roll again, and then we'll say that was with advantage.
Even worse.
That was very sing-song.
No, these are just very, like, you don't actually recognize a lot of these plants. Some of them you do see, like they're kind of just common, kitchen herbs and stuff like that, that you would just automatically kind of know. But a lot of them you are very unfamiliar with. It's kind of strange, actually, for you.
These are plants. Yep.
Yep.
You can tell because of the way it be.
It's just the way it be.
So yeah, you enter the shop of, it's not really a shop. It is literally just kind of, it seems to be just a general house. There's no kind of shop front or anything like that, but the door is standing half ajar, and there is the same plume of smoke coming from the chimney that was there when Uther and Naira first entered. As you approach, you can see it like being shot through with multicolored sparks every now and again as the group of you approach.
By the way, as we got off the horses, Naira will again tell Valko to stay, and she will get the large sack of Imperial coin.
Okay.
Out of her saddlebag.
Okay.
She probably struggles with it, honestly.
Probably, yeah. It's a big, chunky bag of gold.
I have a strength of 11, so I can probably manage it, but I'm struggling with
Yeah,
it.
like you're,
If he saw you trying to struggle, he would literally just pick it up with one hand.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. It's literally what I do.
Oh no, you do so much more than that, but
You overestimate me.
and probably for the first time since Calcifer, you sort of see a little glimmer of a smile.
Well, lead the way, addicts.
And her smile falters.
Oh no, I just can't get enough shrooms. I've ruined my life. Taking those non-stop shrooms.
Okay, so the group of you approach the house. Who is anyone in particular leading the way? I mean, Nyx, you are technically in the lead, so.
Nyx will defer to Uther in this moment.
Strange, I remember walking by here and the daisies were like 10 feet tall. Let's just shake my head, walk up the path with all of the mushrooms and everyone in tow. As I'll look around, seeing if he's out front. If he's not, I'll just do that knock on the door frame, as he's a hippie. His front door is probably wide open.
It is standing ajar as you approach, and you can kind of see the glow of alchemical fire from inside. The same kind of furnaces and things that you saw when you first arrived. And you kind of knock and enter at the same time, and it reveals and you push open the door and step into the very dimly lit by comparison to the bright afternoon outside. It takes your eyes a moment to adjust, but you are to the relative gloom. But you see the familiar form, although slightly different than you remember him. It's kind of strange how your memory gets a bit foggy about that fact, but you see Shamash, who is apparently bent over one of his workstations. You see there's a few extra like little burners that are lit. He's got a set of bellows that he's kind of working with one foot that is flaring each of the burners. There's obviously a little more activity than the first time you got here. And as you kind of knock and enter, he looks up and goes, "Oh, hello. I am just working on your order here. How was Ragnar? How was your trip?"
Well, Ragnar, there's been goblin issues. We had to pass some on our way in.
Oh my.
As we made it to his farm, the goblins ambushed us. We were able to slay them, but I fear the worst for Ragnar.
Oh, pillars abound. Goodness. Well, that is. You must inform Cloven and the madam. They'll want to know if they're that close. Oh gosh. Did you see his body? Is he dead?
Above the table? I don't think we did, right? I'm just
No, we did.
I was just
No.
about to ask. I don't think we ever found his body.
No.
Nope.
No, but the goblins might have taken him away, which is unfortunate. Hopefully he's dead.
As you say this, he kind of goes, oh, pillars. And he reaches over and grabs up the pipe that he was smoking the first time you saw, and you see him like lean down and he pushes a pinch of something into it. Oh, pillars. Well, I'm glad that you guys are okay. Not too banged up or anything, I see. Oh, there's more of you. Hello. Welcome. I am Shamash. Welcome to my shop. I'm
But
glad
we-
that you are all unharmed.
But we were able to retrieve it from his collection,
Oh.
the harvest.
Oh,
But
my. I've never seen how he does it. What did you find?
he kind of tilts his head. Magic as he looks towards Naira.
Well, goodness, I didn't know he had it in him. An arcanist, old Ragnar.
Unless we're able to find him in the camp or something, we might. As he turns and just kind of hands him over all of the mushrooms.
And like you hand him this sack, and he kind of, oh my, I was, goodness. Well, great pillars. This is all of this. My, this will keep me in stock for a while. Well, this is. Let me see. And he actually gets out like he pulls up a set of scales. And sets them on the table and starts like dumping out the sack and kind of puts some counterweights on one end and starts measuring them out. It's like, goodness, 5, 10, 15, 20, 27 pounds. Well. That should do nicely for a good long while. Thank you, my friend. I say you have definitely earned these and more. And he hands over the 2 potions. Had he already given you 1 or 2 potions?
2.
2. He hands over the 3rd potion that he had promised you for the delivery.
And Naira will actually speak up and just say, "Oh, by the way, those might be the last mushrooms like this you did get."
Oh, goodness. Well, yes, I suppose with him gone. Oh, I do hope he is able to return. If he... It will be problematic to make some of my more popular items without these, I must admit. But thank you very much for your generosity in delivering them.
Before I go, would I be able to look around your store?
Yes, by all means. Please, if you see anything you are curious about, just let me know. I am a purveyor of much that is both natural and scientific, and scientifically natural, and naturally scientific. And...
He's a science guy.
Well, no.
He's gonna look around for anything that he can use to craft healing potions or salves or anything like that.
Okay, go ahead and roll me, because you're proficient with herbalism, go ahead and roll me a nature check, nature or investigation with advantage.
Nature or investigation, they both suck. 14.
Yeah, you're able to find a few, like not everything that you would need. This isn't your kind of native environment. You've traveled pretty far from the area of country where you are, where you know the plants and everything like that. So you're able to find most of what you need, but you would have a little more gathering to do before you were able to fully kind of commit to the process.
Lorium, and she will indicate that you should bring the coins up to the counter, and she will refer to Samesh and say, "I believe I owed you for the order. Is this coin good here?"
Yep. And he'll take out a handful and just place it on the table. The sack next to it.
Oh goodness, where are these from? I haven't seen these before. Feels good though. Let me see. And he kind of shifts the rest of the stuff off the scales and drops a couple of the coins on there. And again puts like a counterweight on the other side and goes, I mean, well, the scales don't lie. It's good gold, so yes, it's good here.
Wonderful. So this, and then she will get out some additional money from the purse that she uses for party funds. And how much total do we owe you?
Give me a charisma check with advantage.
Quick math.
Hmm.
No, that's not good.
Um,
Naira is not in a good place right now. It's fine.
he will go, no. Well, with everything that is remaining to do, I should have that all ready for you sometime tomorrow morning. By the way, there's a few things that are gonna need to percolate overnight, but the alchemical glue in a particular needs some time to boil down. Let me tell you, the smell.
Oh, of course.
But anyway, sorry.
No, yes, I had that.
Um,
I had that same experience.
you know what I'm talking about. I had you pegged for someone after my own heart. Right. Let's call it 600 gold total, and you'll be good and clear for the 9 other healing potions and the rest of the junk.
Oh, okay. Then actually, and she will need to retrieve some money out of that, the Imperial pouch.
Hold it down, too.
Yeah, so she retrieves 48 and says, "Okay, this should cover it."
He kind of like grabs it and goes, kind of looks at his scale, looks at it for a second, and just goes, well, I will take your word for it. You have been a most pleasant individual and a great customer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
If I may, as a fellow plant guy, I've been these mushrooms are fascinating. What exactly is it they do? What are their properties?
Oh, well, they are many. If I say so myself, it really does depend on how you process them. If you boil them in the right kind of oil and reduce it down, it makes a wonderful tincture that will help you sleep and give you the most spectacular dreams you have ever experienced. However, if you dry them out and grind them and mix them in the right ways, they can restore vitality, they can restore health, they make a number of remedies for certain diseases and the like. They are a most useful item.
Are these the same type of mushrooms that we indulged in before?
Oh, no. Don't you worry, no. Those are the Garsha. I still have plenty if you like.
Naira's whiskers twitch.
Just one gold piece each for you.
Thank you. But she steps.
Go ahead.
Naira will step away. She will actually basically indicate she needs some fresh air, and goes outside.
Nyx will put down 2 gold coins.
There you are, young sir. For preference, depending on exactly the experience you are looking for, I recommend you slice them in quarters to start with. That gives you a much more, shall we say, manageable journey to come. However, if you are simply wishing to indulge yourself and enjoy, I can reassure you that apart from some lingering thoughts of a fanciful nature, there is no harm in ingesting all.
That's good to know. Thank you. I wish we had better news about your friend.
these things do happen on the frontier, I suppose. And, well, you said you didn't see his body, so who knows? Ragnar, I didn't know he knew anything about the arcane, so who knows, he may have some secrets. I may yet see the old bastard again. Let us hope, if the pillars will it.
Nyx will kind of give him a nod, and as he goes to leave, he'll just as he passes Larium, he'll just say, "Don't yuck my yum," and just keep walking.
He just has his arms crossed, holding the bag, and just get his little chuckle, and then turns away.
We'll walk up to the shopkeep and place down 75 gold, accompanied by a bunch of herbs that he will say, "I want to buy these. And if you make herbs, I can lend you my services for appropriate pay. I can craft potions for you while I stay here."
He kind of spends a moment grabbing the stuff and placing it on scales, and the like is going, okay, so there's a Pashana root, 4 bushels of Gashnarn. Yes, okay, great. This will do the trick nicely. And I do appreciate your offer, sir, but this is very sensitive equipment. And, well, I would not be able to guarantee quality if I did not give everything my personal attention. I am certain you understand. A businessman's own touch is his bond.
He shrugs and says, "You're lost."
I am certain that is the case.
He'll pocket the goods and drop the 75 gold coins.
Thank you for your business.
And he scrapes those into the sack with the rest of the gold.
Is there anything else that I can do for you fine folk?
Yeah, Lauren will just look around. I don't need shit.
Well,
Time to warn the town.
Oh, yes.
Thanks again,
yes.
partner.
My pleasure, sirs. And you fine lady, too. Again, return tomorrow, and your order will be ready.
And as you step outside,
I actually just thought of something.
Mhm.
Sorry, Naira will actually pop her head back in and say, I'm very sorry. Is there a courier in town?
Oh, yes. You'll want to go see Marston at the stables, the stable master. I think he's got a guild seal.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good journeys to you.
And to you.
Okay. You guys step back outside into the bright sunlight, and there we are going to take a break, and I'm going to refill my drink because doing Shamash's voice hurts like a bitch.
I feel that.
Thinking of it.
So much gravel.
So,
But he's so fun.
Yeah, he's
Harry,
great.
he dries out your throat real quick, I'm sure.
So like,
so
what
you
would
guys
be
like him?
what would be the DC to I don't know, take him with us everywhere we go?
You mean kidnapping?
Oh, you forgot. You promised. You promised to make it up for to Naira.
Huh? What? Hmm?
Kidnapped him.
Oh.
I said Cole forgot he promised to make it up to Naira that he stole her buzz after only 20 minutes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Hey, you gotta buy more now. Buzzkill.
Anyway, I'm going to pause the recording, and I will be right back with a new drink and everything. If everyone else wants to take a quick bio break and a refill, this is a good time. Okay, welcome back, everyone. You have all stepped out of the alchemical home of Shamash, the gold-scale dragonborn, and are once again in the mid-afternoon sun. What is your next destination?
we should probably take the horses back to the stable, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Naira opens her mouth to respond and then thinks better of it and just waits for everybody else.
Nyx just like looks around and is gonna be like, okay, to the stable.
And that's where he said that the courier would be found, right?
Correct, yes. He mentioned the name Marsden. And said
Marsden.
that he believed that he had a guild sigil, which you being from Vanya, pretty much anybody that has spent, pretty much all of you except potentially Uther, and Anarian actually, you probably would be familiar with this. There is a guild of basically couriers that stretches across the entire Harashan coast. It is a guild that has existed since Imperial times and is one of the few institutions from the Empire that has remained largely intact. And they essentially carriers of the sigil are guild members who they are trusted by and large to carry messages quickly and securely along a network similar to the Pony Express.
Then as we go, Naira is pulling some parchment, papers, probably if they have like envelopes or something like that, that she has ready to go.
Okay. As your little group kind of comes back in closer toward the main town square, you realize that it's a little emptier than you've seen it in the past. There's fewer carts. Like you normally expect to see 10 or more wagons or carts pulled up around the large stone well that dominates the center of the square. However, now there's only about 6 or 7. And at least 2 of those are closed down. They don't appear to be actively trading at all. The carts just are simply standing there. There's a couple of guards, which you assume to be mercenaries, standing outside them. But there's less activity than you're used to in this bustling little settlement. You make your way into town, taking in this slightly quieter scene, and are able to make your way to the stables, which they stand open, and you see one of the now familiar stable hands, who's in the process of brushing down a mount, and as he sees you approach, his eyes kind of go wide for a second, and he sort of like bobs his head pretty low to Naira, touches his forelock, and good evening, miss. Afternoon, I should say. What can I do for you? Your mounts are you checking in your mounts for the night? We'll take good care of them, I promise.
You always do, thank you. And she will get off her mount. Can you point me in the direction of Marsden?
Yeah. Let me get him for you. And he takes the reins of your horse and starts to lead him in. And she goes, "Oi, Marsden! Marsden! There's someone here for you!" And sorry?
While he's doing that, she is going to turn back to the rest of the group and say, I have some correspondence that I have to send. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
I mean, the only business is the report. Honestly.
You have a report?
A report on the goblins. And this little shithead. Is this guy awake yet?
Actually, let me roll a quick little...
I literally have a goblin strapped to the back. Nobody said anything.
He's been unconscious this whole time. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about that while we were in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna miss.
Oh, it's strapped to your back, so technically he wouldn't have seen it yet. But
I turn around. The goblin winks.
This is
Holds up a
Scrygor.
finger.
This is my small green child.
Actually, yes, you do feel him starting to. He's not fully awake yet. Like he had kind of a big day with you guys, and so he's sort of stirring a little bit. You could slap him awake more or less at will, but he's not fully conscious yet.
Out of curiosity, he would just pipe up to one of the stable hands. Hey, does anyone in this town speak Goblin?
I don't rightly know, Squire. I'm maybe Cloven. I don't know. I mean, he's a half orc.
That's
That
racist.
doesn't mean he speaks Goblin.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Not a fucking squire. I'll just turn around.
No offense, sir.
Well. Yeah, we just gotta deliver this bitch.
Oh,
He's starting to move
good
around.
goat. Patrick, Bob. Well, yeah, Cloven will be the man, right enough.
Right.
And they lead your, the stable hand that is calling for Marsden and his friend also comes out, and they both start leading your horses inside. And as they do, a human man emerges, kind of mid-40s, you'd estimate, fairly well built. Like he's obviously a fairly active man. He's wearing he's wearing like a leather apron and a somewhat stained and dirty work shirt. And leather work pants. He's got dirty black hair that's pulled back into a rough kind of like ponytail bob at the nape of his neck, and he's just kind of wiping his hands with a towel as he comes out. He goes, "Oi, I'm Marsden. What can I do for you?"
I understand that you can deliver things.
Oh, aye, it's guild business, right? And he reaches in underneath his shirt and the apron and pulls out a, like you now see he's got a leather thong around his neck, and at the base of it is what you recognize as the sigil of the Couriers Guild, which is a hand upraised, grasping a scroll. He goes, "Aye, guild member, right enough, bought and paid for. What is it you wanted to send, and where do you want it to go?"
First I am gonna insight check just to make sure it doesn't look fraudulent.
Yeah, it looks legit. I mean, you're pretty familiar with these. You've done a lot of business with the guild yourself, having, traveled a lot and corresponded a lot. As far as you can tell, this looks legit.
She hands him 4 envelopes, and she explains that 3 of them are going to Vanya, and 1 of them is going to Perona.
Right, sure enough. Okay, well, come with me. I've just got to make sure this all goes in the ledger. He leads you back into the stables towards a small kind of office that appears to be set up at the back. There's several kind of it's fairly strewn with papers and the like, but you do see several like satchel envelopes, all of them marked with the guild seal. And he opens one of them and he puts the Perona envelope inside another and puts the 3 for Vanya in there. He's got a book open and he jots down a few lines. He goes, right, for Perona that'll be 2 gold, Vanya 3 gold apiece, 11 gold total.
Well, I mean, these are going to the same address. And she refers to these 3. They're sort of the same delivery. Persuasion?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me persuasion.
Nope.
He goes, sorry, guild rates are per package. That's all I can do.
Okay, that's fair.
Is it though?
Sorry, guys. 1 second.
Pulls out a knife. Is it?
I know that might be how the guild does things, but I don't know. I feel like we've done a lot for the town, and we've really helped out Madame Yannicka a lot. Is there anything you can do to help us? Once we get through with this, we're probably going to have to help y'all get ready for some goblins.
Oh goodness, yeah, I'd heard a little bit about that. Naira, go ahead and
Yeah, get
roll
rid of
now that
this
you've
for
got
this
advantage since you're being assisted by your brother.
Okie doke. Thank you. Thank you. It's gonna be worse. Watch.
2.
It was persuasion. It was persuasion.
Persuasion, yes.
I believe in you.
Yeah!
We willed it.
Naira's just looking at you, going, "No, it's okay. I understand guild rates. It's fine. No, it's fine." And she just hands over all the money.
Naira's
He
like a
takes
real
it. He's
bad
like,
babe.
sorry. I wish there was something I could do, but it's all got to go in the ledger. And well, if the guild sees a discrepancy, well, they'll take the sigil from me.
Yeah. So that was 12 gold, was it?
11.
The dice gods have spoken.
Okay.
You see, as he places them into the satchel, each of the satchels, inside, it's got many, many pockets. And he puts each one of them into a pocket and kind of folds it over. And then you see him dips his finger into a small pot on the desk and smears what looks to be like some wax or clay across the lip of each one. Right, well, should have a rider leaving tomorrow. They'll be on their way.
Thank you very much. And she excuses herself.
Nyx will wait till his sister leaves, and then he'll walk up and he'll say, I think, can you remind me of the rates? I need to send 2 packages to Vanya as well. And while he's doing that, he's going to send a message in Thieves' Cant to see if this guild guy responds to it. I want to see if he recognizes it.
Yeah. He kind of is he looks up at your initial question, and as you keep talking, you just say a innocuous sentence about essentially the weather, which is a coded thieves' cant, and he kind of pauses for a moment and goes, "What is it you?" And basically gives a response that is thieves' cant for what is it, or what's your business? It's 3 gold for those packages. Each.
I will give him 6 gold, and through the Thieves' Cant, I will describe a drop location that I know of in Vanya where my handler will pick these up. And I just tell him I need these sent.
Okay, he kind
Why,
of...
Nyx, what are you talking about?
You left!
I know.
He sort of dips his pen, and you see him make an extra notation in the ledger. Just like a set of what look to be initials next to those entries, and he seemed to be about to place them into 2 pockets, and then moves it over and places them both into a slightly larger pocket on one end, and says, "That'll be an extra gold for the handling."
I give him. I put down 8 gold for the care I know you'll put in there.
Well, our most important clients get our best treatment.
He will nod and go join the others.
Okay. Yeah.
I throw the goblin through the window.
Goblin grenade!
This is
just like
banter
tears off
right
its ear with a tooth.
Guys.
But okay. Yeah, so you re-emerge to join the rest of your group. Where to next?
Naira also gives the stable boy another gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, I meant to say actually, they were kind of hovering after they brought all the horses inside. They kind of come up and say, right, we're all secure for the night. And then they kind of hover expectantly, and as you hand over the gold, their eyes go wide, and he's like, thank you very much, miss. Anything else we can do, anything your horses need, you just let us know.
Calm down, I'll kiss ass. Damn.
Oh, they're adorable.
And they both scamper back off inside.
They will both die in the goblin raid.
We are the goblins.
So, what does everybody think we should do?
Definitely a warning. How far out was the Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, how far away from the town was the hill with the 3 goblins watching the fucking road? It was like 30 minutes an hour.
Probably about, it was about halfway to the farm. It was probably about 45 minutes to an hour out of town, depending on how quickly you move.
Okay, yeah.
And that is a good idea. But just out of curiosity, what exactly are we warning them of? Like, what are we sure of?
Well, we're sure that they're sending scouting parties past the ridge line of the farms.
Yeah. Okay.
They were gathering weapons.
Yes.
There are several groups working together, allegedly. And there's hobgoblins and bugbears. Sounds like a raid's gonna happen to me.
Yes. Yes, it does sound that way. Yes, okay. How long do we think?
He'll think for a moment while looking out at everybody else. The closer
Naira will
we
also
get-
I was just going to say she would look at everybody else too.
From experience, the closer a scouting party gets, the more prepared they are. And that shit's pretty close.
Nyx has kind of been, like, glancing around the town square. And then he'll turn his attention to Lorium. If we do warn them, what then? Do we help them fend it off?
He'll just scratch his chin. I mean, that's not up for me to decide, but help is on the way.
I mean, the way I see it, from, their scouting and the provisions that they had, we probably got a couple days before anything like that happens. So, we have time to get them prepared. Yeah. I mean, those goblins were stationed out there. They were a scouting party, and I know about scouting. They're they planned on being there for a while. And it looks like they've got a mighty big interest in this town.
Okay. Okay. So we think that there's definitely like a war band coming? Is that I mean, that's what it seems like to me, but it seems kind of silly when I say it out loud.
It's really not silly. Goblins are a surprisingly tenacious bunch.
Well, do goblins lead, oh, I don't know how to say it, maybe inquisitions, I guess? Because there's something religious at the center of this, isn't there?
They don't. They get controlled.
Oh. Oh, and then she'll look over at Anarian and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. There has been more going on than what you stumbled onto. Have you experienced any goblins on the road?"
Have I experienced any goblins on the road?
You have been traveling mostly, fairly quickly and discreetly. So no, you haven't actually experienced any issues yourself.
And Aaron will shake his head and say, no. But if Calcifer has anything to do with it, it's worth investigating. You have my...
Oh.
You say oh, and his arts dart to you.
Oh, I don't think that he had anything to do with it. He just... Oh. And her ears sort of flatten a little bit, and she goes, "No, you're right. I don't know."
He takes a breath. You can see it's hard for him to calm down. And he says, "I'm sorry, but you did bring that creature here."
I know, I'm sorry.
Something. I don't blame you for not knowing.
Sorry, I've got to step away for a second. I can still hear you guys.
Okay. I don't blame you for not knowing, but I can't be...
Inside.
Okay.
Good boy.
And he'll cross his arms.
No, that's fair. That is fair. And Naira has shrunk into herself a little bit.
Nyx will kind of move over to her, not overtly touching her or anything, but just making his presence known to her, and he'll look at Anarian and say, "Well, if it does turn out that the two issues are separate, would you be willing to aid us in helping this town?"
You can tell he takes a moment to ponder this, and he says, "I have to investigate the town regardless, and you did offer me your aid, so I suppose I am indebted to you."
Anarian, based on what they have told me, actually, what proficiencies do you have in terms of knowledges and the like?
History, religion. Wait, history, not religion. Yes, history and religion, baby. Let's go.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a history check then.
Okay, fire.
Okay, fire.
It's an 11.
Go ahead and roll, Noble Knight.
Noble Knight, yes.
Okay, no, yeah. Nothing rings a particular bell, given the description.
Damn it.
Well, that's very generous of you, and I mean, if this is what we think it might be, we could definitely use all the help we can get. And he'll turn to Uther and Larium. We should definitely go let Cloven know, and maybe he can speak Goblin and understand a little more about our little friend. But and he kind of like glances about the square again. I don't know. This town's a little open. Can y'all think of any ways we could maybe limit access? Or, I don't know, like, make it harder for them to get in?
I could think of a few, but it would require bodies.
Like, bodies like help or like dead?
Bodies like help.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sure we could do that.
We maybe also want to find a place to put the younger ones or the ones who can't really fight. Maybe somebody should talk to Yannicka and see if she'd be willing to help us get him safe in there.
Well, as a precaution, sure, but who knows? We may just deal with it. Cloven seem to be sending out people.
Oh, you're probably right.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, right?
Yep.
Let's,
Mosey.
let's see if our half-orc friend can crack open this shithead.
Okay. So, you make the short walk across to the now familiar front of the Fox and the Hound. Anarian, you are seeing it for the first time, but Aurel, you know what it looks like, so I won't let you describe it again. You see that the only change is that... Oh, and let me move all of you guys over here in Foundry. There we go. The only significant change is that the music inside seems a little more subdued than normal. There's not quite as many people and quite as much noise coming through the doors as you walk up. And the two guards outside, for the first time, seem actually on alert. Like they're both standing at something approaching attention, and have their weapons like actually to hand with their shields strapped to their arms, and like they clearly recognize your group as you approach, and so they don't give you more than a casual look as you walk up, but they are very clearly on higher alert than you have seen them in the past.
Lauren will just ask, was there a martial order given out or something?
Did you ask that to one of them?
Yeah, one of the guards.
He goes, well, I mean, if you could call it that, yeah. Cloven, he's said that, well, he said you guys counted all kinds of nasties out there, so something about hobgoblins on big wolves. Well, he's gotten everybody, strapping their armor together, and as far as I know, he's thinking about calling out the militia.
Right.
He's had riders out all day, trying to check in on everything.
Oh, they're dead. Yeah, he'll
I
just
assume you don't say that.
No.
All your friends are dead.
All your friends are dead, burning. He'll just pat him on the shoulder and say, well, better. As he's talking clearly about their stature. And then just set up to head on with everybody else. Guess he'd be right here.
I like this image of Valko crushing Naira.
Mom, you're back!
Oh, Valko's been trotting happily alongside her horse all day. He has become, like, with the handle animal checks that she has made for him, he has become quite the faithful hound.
Who's a good boy?
As we walk up and in a moment when Naira is not particularly paying attention to Valko, Nyx will slip him a piece of jerky.
Okay, yeah, no, Valko knows and trusts you all well enough that you can easily feed him without like him being in any danger of him nipping your fingers or anything like that, and he very happily snatches it from you and it disappears.
I really thought you were about to drug Valko.
Oh my god, no!
He's just there, his
Here,
back
have a
all
mushroom.
forward,
Yeah,
and the
of your life.
Yep.
Maybe later. I'm sure my sister probably saw me being
Actually, what is...
nice to the dog.
What's her passive?
Well, let's find out.
Actually, that is your
I don't
passive
know
perception, so yes, you did see that. But yeah, you're able to slip him a little piece of jerky, and he happily kind of snarfs it down as you guys approach and move past the guards. As those of you who enter do enter, you see the familiar tap room. Again, seems somewhat subdued. There is still the music being played, but given that it is the afternoon when you would expect this place to be at its most rambunctious, it is curiously kind of not quiet. You know, there is music and a decent amount of energy. At least being attempted to be injected into the atmosphere, but you can tell that there is a tension in the air that you are not used to. This tension is doubtless not helped, and in fact you can see several kind of glances being shot by some of the patrons toward the imposing figure of Cloven the half-orc, who is standing next to the rear door, apparently talking to a couple of his men, all of them wearing the golden yellow scarves of the Golden Band group.
Wonder if Uther's going to clear a table again. Wait, there's a free one right there.
Nyx will come up behind Lorium and like tap on his arm and indicate for him to follow him, and he'll start moving towards Cloven.
Okay.
And just shrug and follow along.
As he sees you approaching, Cloven actually kind of looks up and recognizes you and sort of motions his guards to step aside for a second. And they both do, kind of taking you in. And he steps forward and says, I heard you lot ran rode out of town, heading north. What were you doing?
One of your citizens was worried about their friend Ragnar. And Nyx will look around at like all the people who are probably staring at us and say, not that this is a secret or anything, but maybe we can go somewhere where we don't have quite so many terrified eyes on us.
Yeah, I got a package for you. It's probably drawn an eye.
And actually, yes, like, it's not visible from the front, so Cloven hasn't seen it yet, but there are, anybody who's looking around can see that there are a number of people just staring agape at Lorium's back, where he has this small goblin that's kind of like...
Tied the fuck up.
Just like, yeah, all trussed up like a Christmas turkey. And in fact, one of the guards kind of.
Oh, pillars above!
And Cloven
Yeah,
goes,
don't worry about it.
Huh? Follow me. And he leads you through this back door. And actually opens
Narian, let's go.
this door, this side door here. Steps inside. Goes, and says, we can talk in here. We won't be disturbed.
That's good. As you can tell, we brought you a present.
Yep, I hope someone here speaks Goblin, because this motherfucker doesn't speak anything else.
Those of you that enter, this appears to be a essentially a kind of dressing room area for the performers and courtesans. There's like a small sort of vanity equivalent with a table and a bench laid out. And in this side room again, you can see a very similar setup, but with a large closet.
By the way, when Anarian approaches the table, I will actually say, if you were seeking answers, if Calcifer had anything to do with the goblins, I believe they intend to try and get answers from him.
Sorry, say that again?
If you were looking for answers about whether or not Calcifer had anything to do with the goblins, I believe they intend to question him. The little goblin that Lorium was carrying around.
He'll stand and... Oh... He'll give you a look, like a questioning look, but he'll go ahead towards where they're going.
Okay.
Inside check?
Go ahead and roll.
Why were you
Dueling
questioning?
insight.
Oh, sorry. He's just curious as to what you're up to. He doesn't trust you very much.
Okie doke.
But what did she get with 15?
She would get that he's not entirely trusting of her. She can tell that he's questioning her motives. He's probably still thinking of how she hesitated to attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah, okay.
Cloven was about to close the door, and then when he sees you entering, he kind of gives you a look and looks at Lorium and Nix. He goes, at the three of you, and goes, "Is he with you?"
We keep gaining more members, picking them up. It's like hotcakes.
He looks over at Wander and goes, "So you say?" Motions you in, Anarian, and then closes the door behind you. Turns to Lorian and says, "Put him on the table."
Right. And he will, not very gently, just bang him on the table. Potentially waking him up.
Potentially killing him. Who knows?
Potentially killing him.
Yeah, you kind of drop him down on the table, and Cloven kind of reaches down and goes, "Right, let's see what he knows." Just grabs it by the neck and kind of shakes it, and goes, and you hear him,
Botus, Kufun Milkut Paladin, Burthul Gifetara Papa Fadin.
and the goblin kind of like snarls and shrieks, and there's a little bit of back and forth for a moment. And
Shit, they were at.
Racism.
but after a few moments of back and forth, you see Cloven kind of snarl, and for the first time you see these really kind of bestial fangs on display in his mouth. He goes,
Gosh da, bit god for to be done, again been dusted.
And it kind of shrinks away and goes,
Get there, make the big rot. At go rad my dirt gore. If we kill it is the dark at the end.
And there's a few, about a minute or two of back and forth, and then Cloven kind of goes,
Goth, bit me.
and then he grabs the goblin by the hair and like bangs its head on the table, and it passes out again. And he goes,
Fuck.
So, what's the news?
It's a war band. Big one.
Yep.
Little fucker can't even count, but could be hundreds. Called it a host. Said they have giants with them. I don't know if he
I'm
actually
sorry.
means giants, but did you see anything bigger? Anything bigger than a hobgoblin?
Not bigger than a hobgoblin, but my sister was able to take a pack away from some scouts, and a lot of their weapons have some what we kind of figured were clan markings. They're not all the same.
That matches what he said. There's some fucker called Athgorod. He's gathered a bunch of them together, defeated chieftains, forced them to follow his banner. The Five Fangs, the Hungry Horde they call themselves. Horde, I
The
don't
what?
like that word.
the Hungry Horde.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
At
what
the
was he-
mention,
Oh, I'm so
go ahead.
sorry. Oh, what?
No.
No, what did he say about the fangs?
The Five Fangs.
Says they follow the Five Fangs. They want to eat the world. Stupid fuckers. Little vermin.
oh. Hey, Nix, how many fangs did that weird symbol have?
How many?
It did indeed have 5. There's 2 large, kind of like, upward-facing incisors on the sides, and then 3 smaller in the center. As like it looks like the kind of lower jaw of a large fanged creature.
And I would say once he mentioned giants, Lorium's eyes kind of... No, you're fine. Lorium's eyes would have, his eye would have gone a little wide, and he would just let out a whistle and big old grin.
Well, let me make sure I understood you right. That this guy's saying that Athgorad is a person, like he's the one leading this.
A hobgoblin. A chieftain. Killed a handful of others, and some goblin clan leaders. Welded the rest of them together, so they all follow his banner. This little fucker was one of the, didn't know much. It wasn't important enough. The goblins never are. But it's bad news either way.
I don't know much about how goblin culture works, but if this chieftain were to fall, would that disrupt their unity?
Damn right. Cut off the head, the snake dies. It's doubly true for savage little fuckers like this. They follow whatever they're scared of.
little
They kill what they're
run.
scared of. The rest of them run.
There were also some bugbears, though. Well, one.
all kinds of
Is that
goblin
bigger
noises.
than a hobgoblin?
He goes, aye, would be, but he wouldn't call it a giant. Bugbears and goblinoids. They're bigger than the others, but he would know what they were. He wouldn't call them giants. They all serve the same fucker.
Well, that's disconcerting. Those scouts that we said we got that pack off of, they had enough supplies for like a couple days.
3 days, you would estimate.
3 days, and they seemed to be camped out there, and keeping an eye on who was passing. Also,
Where? Scouts? Tell me everything.
I'll describe the area where we found them, and I'll also let him know that this guy on the table was
He actually
responsible.
kind of stops for a moment and goes, wait, and hurries out. And then, like, you hear him kind of clumping up the stairs, boom, 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 him hurrying up the stairs. And then a few moments later, he returns, like this, boom, 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 clumping down the stairs, and comes back in, closing the door behind him, and lays just shoves the goblin onto the floor, and then lays a map of the area out on the table.
Show me where, exactly.
And you can actually see that there's several other notations on the map. A couple on each of the roads out from the east and west of town, and then a couple more at a couple of locations in the north. Neither of which though are where you encountered this little group.
Nix will just say, he'll start looking at the map and just, damn it, I wish a dreamer were here. And then he'll do his best to point out the spot.
Okay, give me a survival check with advantage just to get it right. Actually, no, you know what? You were familiar with the area map from what Naira was writing, so I was, okay, yeah. I was going to say you didn't even need to roll, but you certainly are able to, you're very, very certain you get it precisely right. Like, it is this exact hill.
Can I barter with you and say, with this survival check, can I make note of those other places that he's marked? So I could maybe
do that.
Yes.
Tell my sister about them?
Yes, you may. Yeah, with that 27, or 23 rather, with a +7, you have a very good idea now of the general layout of this area and where these notations were. You also see, noted on this map that he's laid out, a number of small little scrolls that appear to have appear to represent farms and farmsteads because they have small names scribbled next to some of them.
Do I see one that says Ragnar?
Yes, you do actually.
I'll point to that one, and I'll say that's where we found them. We didn't find Ragnar himself,
Another group,
but they were holed up in
not the scouting party.
Yeah, separate, different.
Shit.
That's where we saw the bugbear.
Okay. Oh, thank you for your time. How long were you
looking at
in town? Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. Looking at the map and what I know of tracking and where he's got his notations, could I want to see if I could deduce potential locations that a horde could be.
I mean, yes, but the answer wouldn't be particularly helpful. This is very wild and hilly and rough terrain, so if they were more than a couple hours away, it could be anywhere. If they were more than 4 or 5 miles from town, there could be 1,000 of them and you wouldn't know.
Right. I guess I was thinking, like, if I could determine a direction they'd most likely be coming from,
Okay.
so we could prepare.
Okay. Well, all of the notations that seem to indicate goblin activity, like these aren't things that have been written in a fairly neat hand. They've kind of just been like penciled on in rough kind of circles. Those are all either on the roads or to the north of town, closer toward the Dorvashi Wilds, which is what you would kind of expect.
Nyx will internalize that information and look to Cloven and say, we were thinking about sticking around for, at the very least, 3 days. Maybe more, depending.
He kind of like looks down at the map and sort of glares at it for a minute. Listen, this town's under my protection. I like it here. I like this place. I like the madam. You guys, well, my boys can fight, but nothing like either of you. And, well, from all I've heard, you gave a good accounting against the hobgoblins and these little fuckers. And when he says you, he looks at Lorium and Wander, both of you being far more imposing forms than Nyx. But then he kind of seems to realize that Nyx himself is, by reputation, a fairly formidable fighter himself. He goes, if it comes to it, I don't want to ask, but can I count on you to help? My boys, they can handle bandits, but wolf riders, these giants, I don't want to throw them at them.
I can't see any reason why we wouldn't, but if you'll just let us check in with everybody else.
I understand.
Just to be sure.
I understand. Well, if you could help, any help would be appreciated. I know the madam will agree. She trusts me in these matters, and, well, you may just be our best chance.
We'll see what we can do, but since we got a few days, we should maybe start fortifying.
And we can't speak for our new friend here. And he'll gesture over to Anarian.
Cloven kind of just turns and looks curiously down at you.
I'll look up and say, I already told you. I have business here.
Good. Well, that's decided then. Thank you. All of you. You want to take him with, or should I just throw him out back?
Honestly, do whatever you want with him, but are you planning on... Yep. Are you planning on waiting for them to come here, or you want to set out?
I'm going to call out the militia. Get the lads ready. It'll take a day or two to get everyone ready. I've got riders going out to the farms. Once I know more, I'll know what we need to do.
Right.
So, I'll make sure the madam gives you rooms here for the night, as long as you'll be staying. And then he kind of like just picks up the goblin corpse one-handed and walks out of the room and heads back up the stairs. Meanwhile, back out in the main area, Naira and Uther, are you guys doing anything?
I would sit watching about the crowd for a second and make sure that nobody's really paying any attention.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check. Nobody seems like people are paying attention just because there seems to be a general tension in the room, and you guys are. I mean, some of the kind of townsfolk, the locals, seem to be watching you. You have developed a little bit of a reputation over the last couple of days. None of them seem to be particularly like listening in or anything, but you do catch a couple of like sidelong glances as if they're wondering kind of what's going on. But those glances are going kind of between you to the mercenaries to the back door that Cloven went through, back again. Just seems to be general tension. No one seems to be particularly trying to listen in on you or anything like that.
I would just then turn to Naira as I would do that gesture where you're like magicians do. One of them a tarnished silver coin.
So
And the
just
other.
one moment, sorry, I really hate to interrupt, but I'll be right back. Just 2 moments.
That means I can grab a drink.
Yes.
Sorry, silver coin, go.
I think he might be grabbing a drink.
Ah, fair enough.
Nope.
And by the time he's come back, Naira's like dancing on the table and drunk again.
You know what? She deserves
Yeah.
Naira had her little world rock today.
All right, now I'm back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
As you're kind of pulling it out, the familiar form of Zavara arrives and she's like, my friends, welcome back, welcome back. Would you like any refreshment while you are with us?
No, thank you, Zavara. Thank you.
Certainly, certainly. If there is anything I can do not hesitate to ask. And he shuffles off to continue his duties as maitre d'. Uther.
As you see the coins spread out one in either side of the finger, turning them over, one of them appears like nearly tarnished beyond recognition, as the other seems freshly minted silver, with that wondrous sheen mirrored on it. As I place the pair down, saw you notice the coins are a bit special. They help me to...
Wait. You said before that this was not the place for such things? I can respect that. Do you prefer to go outside?
Glancing around for a minute, I would nod and step up and do the gentlemanly thing and pull out an Irish chair.
From under her, she falls. No.
Yeah.
Take that!
Gentlemen.
As I step my way outside, seeing the collection of guards, and just kind of give them that nod and smile as I make my way over to the corner of the building. How old do you think I am?
How old do I think he is? Have I ever actually rolled an insight check on that?
As you look at me right now, after getting another, you think I'm probably like 25.
She sort of steps up kind of close to you. And she says, you make it kind of hard to tell. I would have said older just when we met.
Yes. Things have been changing. The coins, I've been doing this kind of thing for a little while. Quite a long while. I lost count. They kind of stopped mattering so much after 700.
Her eyes open very wide, and her jaw drops a little. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a half elf.
I am. Yeah, that math doesn't. It's the coins I'm sent to collect. There's certain people that are. As you see him reach, you see as he reaches into a pocket. You haven't seen him go for it before. And kind of like one of those magician's pockets, you don't realize is even there until his hand is in it. As you see as he pulls out a rather silvery shield of a shape. You see what appears to be a memento mori, a skull. As you see written in front of it and across it, High Nemesis.
Is this anything that I would recognize?
Roll me a history check, please. No. You do not recognize this.
Other than it does seem to have carry that like shape of like a cop's badge. And it does appear to be like very fine in manufacturing.
Yeah.
Like this is not something easily created.
You would recognize it as a relatively high-ranking badge of office, given the quality and presentation of it, but you do not recognize the specific symbology or motto.
If I am understanding correctly, you were sent here to collect coins, and those coins are associated with bad men?
Putting it, I collect embers, so to say, before they start a wildfire. These are bad men. Normally, it's much clearer. I would have thought more of calcifers. I had hoped there would perhaps be a chance to alter his path forward, but my knowledge seems to be a little bit lacking.
I think calcifer fooled us all.
Yeah, kind of did. I should have known. The coins gave me a warning, but as he looks up towards you, his mask not there. That's it. Got it. I'm a manhunter sent far away, trying to stop.
Who sent you?
You see as he, teleported just far away from the continent. I'm working for the king. My king.
The King of Carvalin, if I remember correctly, yeah?
Nods. You'll do some reading
Okay.
and find out sooner or later, I guess. He's... Many will consider him a death demon. Though I think of him more as a god. Trying to help, actually.
A death demon?
Well, that's what the others will say. We know him as the Reforger. You know, everything has to pass. And how much do you have to kill your weaker instincts? It's about rebirth. And these men, as I hold up the coins, their taint needs to be collected. It shouldn't be put
And you
back
can
into the pool.
And you can see Naira sort of processing this. Okay. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, you were affected. You collected the coin from that man who was abusing the wolves?
He nods. Yes, that was my first.
And from Calcifer,
My second.
who...
This adventure.
Okay. And she steps up closer to you, and she sort of looks at you and goes, "So you're a good man?"
I've done bad things. Killed more than I care to try and count. But Naira, I mean you no harm. In fact, I quite desire to do the opposite.
Oh?
He just kind of nods. I can understand, it seems like, and the age, it's a lot. I understand if you don't feel the same.
She very abruptly launches up on her tiptoes and gives you a kiss on the cheek.
You didn't know it was possible, but Uther blushes. Well, you're taking it much better than I had anticipated. You continue to amaze me.
Don't hurt me, Uther, please. And then she starts to walk away.
I have no intention to, little lady. As he follows you in.
Anarian, that should have been a short rest. But yes, given that you guys have all kind of been relaxing for a little while and kind of gotten into the tavern and just been chilling out for a bit, I will say that you guys can all have taken a short rest. You can consider this little interlude a short rest. Okay. So, those two scenes have come to a close at roughly the same time. The four of you that have just been left by Cloven, who has stomped back upstairs. What are you guys going to do?
Nyx would let Larium and Anarian leave, and then as Wander started to leave, he'd stop him and just say, "Hey, buddy.
Yes.
You okay?"
I don't know. I need to think.
Yeah, I get that. This is all a lot, if I'm being honest. I don't really know what to make of it. But I just know that when you're the one who has to bring it to an end, especially when you weren't expecting it, it hurts a little bit. And if you need to talk, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. I wanted to help, but it is harder than I thought.
Huh. Buddy, that's just part of living. Let me tell you that. It's never the answer you thought it was going to be, but I will say, though, since you've joined us, you've helped us a lot. So, you're on the right track.
Thank you. He'll nod at you.
Well, that's about as mushy as I'm willing to get, so, do you want to sit around a table and not eat?
I have to shop.
Oh. Do you want company, or...
And he'll cut you off there and he'll say, "No, I can't do it alone."
Alright, well, have fun on your excursion, and, try not to scare too many of the town folk.
Okay.
Ironically... Oh, wait, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that he'll continue going out the door.
I was going to say, ironically, before he left, Lorian left, he would have just looked at Nyx, gave a wink, and then looked at Warner and say, "Well, buddy, you wanted to help people. I guess this is a chance." Before heading out with an area.
Well, then, after he did that, to Wander, Nyx would have just been like, I can never tell if he's, like, just blinking or winking.
Yep.
So
I will fix that.
And I'm sure that's when he, like, do runs away.
Nope. Out the door we go.
Okay. So, Wanderer, are you going to stop by the table, or are you just heading straight out the door?
I'll pass by the table, but as he's passing by, he'll just wave at everyone and then go out the door.
Okay.
Unless anyone stops me, I'm just going to move out the door now.
Is he okay?
He said he needed to do some shopping. I offered to go with him, but he said he could do it on his own, and I don't know. I think he needs a moment. I don't think he was. I guess we all need a moment. I think he'll be
Naira
fine.
hangs her head.
Larian would have waved back, by the way. Yep. First time's always... No, actually, second time's the hardest.
The second
After
time?
that, you kind of get used to it.
Are you saying the second time I have to put one of you down, I'll get used to it? Is that what that means? How many times are you guys gonna betray me?
As many as
Good.
it takes.
Question.
Many it takes till you're jaded! No.
But Naira will not quite catch what you're talking about when you say second time's the hardest, and she will ask. She will just say, second time?
Having somebody that with a monicum of trust betraying the group. Or at least not being who you thought they were.
Naira actually sort of giggles.
Just like that.
Yep, I know, that was me.
I know it was.
God damn it.
Good Naira impression.
Okay.
But she doesn't say anything.
Who was about to say something just now?
I was.
Oh.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. So, is there anything? Do you guys want to like order any food or do anything inside the tavern, or should we just go with Wander's little shopping excursion?
I want a drink, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
you can
he will
you
have-
can say that you can order any refreshments that you want from inside. Zavara
Yep.
is being very attentive to you guys, so anytime one of you like raises a hand or anything, he'll bustle over and ensure that your needs are met. If you order like food and wine and stuff like that, just mark off 2 silver for like a decent meal with wine and things.
Yeah.
Cool. So anybody who wants to do that can do so. Wander, you step out of the Fox and the Hound back into the less bustling than normal settlement of Aldwell.
I will proceed back over to the general store
Okay.
where we were going to go shopping for tools, and then I didn't because I went to the smithy.
Yeah, you are able to head down. It's getting toward kind of late afternoon at this point, so it looks like as you arrive, you see the form of Wenrick taking down the display that he puts up outside. He's kind of boxing up, placing the lids on some of the boxes, and as you approach, he sort of looks up, does a little bit of a double take, still unused to the sight of this walking automaton. But kind of collects himself after a moment. Good evening. What can I do for you, sir?
He'll step forward and put his hand up and say, "Hello. I would like a tool kit for making clothes."
Oh, some tailor's supplies. I've got some needle, thread, and the like. Some scissors. Yeah, I can do that for you. Come on in, sir. And he invites you inside and runs over to a shelf where it's got a few bolts of cloth and laid out, and starts kind of gathering some pieces together into it for you. And let me just look up the cost, unless somebody has that to hand.
Yeah, 20 platinum.
20.
Wander pulls out his sack of platinum.
20 platinum, end of days. Come on.
Yep.
Everything must go.
So yeah, he kind of spends a few moments. He's got like a leather roll that he's unrolled, and he's kind of slots a couple of pairs of scissors, and some needles and a couple of spools of thread into. Folds it up for you. Goes, right, that'll be 5 gold.
And then I'll also say, do you also have enough wool to make a cloak?
I've got some bolts of cloth and the like. People use it to repair their carts, so I've got plenty.
Can I have? So at this point, he would ask for, I don't know the exact measurements, but enough to cover a creature of Nyx's stature.
Okay, yeah, like you can get, a couple of, like 3 or 4 square meters, which would be enough to sort of make an outfit or a cloak or something like that for Nyx fairly easily. And he sort of gets out a pair of shears and cuts that off of a large bolt. And says, right, that'll just be a silver for the cloth.
All right. He said a silver for that, and then 5 for the kit.
5 gold for the
hand him. I'll hand him 6 gold.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Do you want your change?
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. And please, if there's anything else we can do for you... Oh, actually, he will actually only charge you 3 gold for the sewing kit. I forgot that he's giving you guys the friends and family discount.
Oh, cool.
So I'd assume you gave him 4 gold then.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I was well, thank you very much, sir. This is most generous of you.
I suppose if you have it... let me pull up this real quick. Also, supplies for cooking.
Yeah. We can do you a mess kit.
Specifically, I'm looking for cook's utensils, so I guess I'll say, rather pans, pots, these things.
Yes, we can do that for you. Let me see now. And he kind of moves over to to a cabinet, kind of pulls it open and starts grabbing some stuff out. Here we go. And yeah, like he kind of puts a couple of pots down and a number of kind of wooden and metal utensils, and kind of pops it all into into like just a little pack. I hand it over. It'll just be 5 silver for that, sir. And you know what? You were generous already. Consider it paid for.
Oh, okay. And then at that point, I suppose that would be... Is this a general store as in it sells general items, or does it also sell, like, if I wanted ingredients for food, would I get those here too?
Nothing like fancy, but he's got general food stuff. So he's got like flour, cuts of meat, cheese, things like that.
Yeah, also, I'll say, and some of those, and I'll point towards just the various bits of ingredients, just like a handful of it or so, and I'll mime, like, palming my hand.
Sure, yeah, he kind of gets a selection together for you, and again, it's nothing like too fancy, but and it's all quite plain too. You know, if you wanted spices and herbs and the like, well, you've got somebody else in town who deals with those. But like, there's a small bag of salt in it.
Yeah, I do.
You and stuff. And yeah, he can give you as much of that stuff as you want to buy. So basically, pick how much you want to spend on it, and then half the cost according to the player's handbook. You can just add that to your sheet at your convenience.
Cool. It'll mainly be the cheeses and salt, I guess. So just enough for a few days worth of food, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, call it like 10 rations then if you're going to be cooking for the group, and then like you can just mark that off at half price on your character sheet.
Cool. Then yes. How much was it for the cook's utensils again? I'm sorry.
That was included. You'd already overpaid him for their cloth and everything, so he, cooking utensils are 1 gold according to the book, and so you'd already paid him kind of more than that because he would have only charged you 5 silver, so he just let you have it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then in that case, I'll hand him over. Let's see. So, I'll give him 5 gold.
Okay. And yeah, he kind of collects it all together, makes sure that all your purchases are packed together, and goes, "Oh, well, thank you kindly, sir. Is it, sir?"
I don't know.
Right. Well, sir, it is then. Thank you for everything you've done for us, sir.
Thank you. And he'll do a little bow, very rigid, and then turn to walk away.
Okay.
And he'll, instead of going back to the Fox and the Hound, he'll start heading back towards the forest path that led to Faithful Suval's temple.
Okay. Whilst he was on that little excursion, did anyone want to do anything back in the Fox and the Hound, or are you all just kind of hanging out?
Knowing that his sister probably needs to be distracted, Nyx will have handed her that dagger with the gem or the jewel in it, just for her to look at, and then whenever she finished with that, he would have asked her to bring out her map and would have pointed out all the places he saw. But we don't necessarily have to RP that if... That's a lot of repeated information.
That is a lot of repeating. That's fine.
Yeah, no, we can call that all done.
You will see that when she gets the map out and starts doing that, she a little light comes back to her eyes. She is very happy when she's working on her maps.
I would like to find a quiet spot and work on crafting some potions of healing.
Okay, you wouldn't be able to do that inside the Fox and the Hound, like it's unless you kind of went up to a room or something like that. But you can certainly step outside and kind of find an area to set up your little kit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I forgot his name said that we were getting free rooms.
Cloven, yes. He did mention that you would be comped rooms.
I will go to the room and do this.
Okay, yeah, you can inquire with Zavara about it, and he will confirm this and lead you up to one of the smaller rooms upstairs where you can start work.
When an Aryan leaves, by the way, Naira will actually sort of say, "I don't think he likes me very much."
As I'm leaving, or when I'm gone?
When you're gone.
Damn it.
And she will probably just say it very quietly.
Oh, don't worry, Dreamer. If our childhood is anything to go off of, you'll worm your way in.
Oh.
Something tells me he just, at the same time, didn't understand that even I was under an effect of some sort. But at the same time, I think he understands better than anyone. He's just being careful.
Yeah, he's a big old ball of anger right now.
Well, I suppose that's understandable.
I mean, shit, I would too if my family were controlled.
Do you think they're free now that he's dead?
That's a really good question.
I hope so. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Well,
What was that?
maybe there will... So, well, maybe there will be an... What?
Oh no, he
Sorry.
did a thing. He did a thing. Sorry.
Sorry, maybe there. Maybe.
I've lost it. It's no big deal. It's fine.
Sorry. He did an eye thing. I questioned it.
So, Wander, you are on your way to Faithful Suvol's Grove.
Yes, sir.
Anarian, you are upstairs in the bedroom. The rest of you are downstairs in the common room. And as you are all going about your various tasks, I would like everyone, please, to make me perception checks.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
this is not bad.
Of course.
I would like you all to use your
Yeah.
eyes. Please, no.
13. Unlucky. Oh no.
Oh, I'll be fine by myself. Nothing will happen while I'm out shopping.
Oh.
Okay. So, Wander, as you are walking across this grove, you see a figure on horseback galloping down the hill from this small tower structure that is perched on the top of it, galloping like very quickly, madly down the hill toward the Fox and the Hound as the shadows lengthen in the late afternoon and evening. And as he descends the hill, Anarian, Uther, and just the two of you, actually, hear through the walls and above the chatter of the room around you, bong, 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 bong. The guards that are in the room with you snap up one by one as each of them hears the same sound. The townsfolk also look up in alarm. The doors bang open, and one of the guards that was posted outside leans in and goes, "Cloven! Cloven!" And that is where we are going to leave for the night.
No.
What did you say?
You cut out entirely when you yelled.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. He is calling for Cloven.
Giants?
And that, as I said, is going to be where we leave it for tonight.
Yay!
Yay! Friendly Moto.
Thank you all for your coming. I hope you have enjoyed your time today in the land of Sunder Crowns. More to come tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, sorry, next week.
I didn't even get to use my critspiration. Well, I guess I'll use it tomorrow.
That's what you're thinking.
Oh,
I'm
wait,
thinking,
you do have-
oh shit, we didn't long rest. Oh shit. Oh no, that's why.
You did, but you did have a short rest.
You did get to have a short rest, at least.
Get Channel Divinity back, hey.
I also feel like we learned so many new things about each other.
There were some
What a
lore
secret.
drops.
A lot of secrets.
Indeed.
Yeah, Naira's learning that.
And I forgot to mention it, but that was some amazing RP, some great lore drops on all sides, and everyone for the next session will have inspiration.
Nice.
You are a merciful god.
Well, that just
I
means
know,
can reach
the
for fun parts
betrayal.
of the monster manual.
I knew it.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you again, everyone, and I will see you all next week for our next session, where we will find out what precisely has raised this alarm.